Chapter 2921 Capture the Abyss Skull Stone. Although Yi Tian's duplicate body was sealed, he still showed a trace of perception to sense the surrounding environment. Don't perceive it, there is nothing else here except for the low-quality first-order supreme rule item, the Abyssal Skull Stone. Said an elder. Abyssal Skull Stone. Yi Tian also sensed it very quickly. There was actually a pile of Abyssal Skull Stones, piled up there, as if one by one skulls were piled up together, but in fact they were stones similar to skulls. There are so many items of the first sequence of Supreme Tao. Yi Tian was very excited. If he has obtained so many items of the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules, wouldn't he be able to comprehend the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules to a 100% perfect state? But the trouble now is that the Abyss 10,000 skeletons are too powerful. He was instantly sealed, except for the first elder who had some hope when he came. The other elders were sent to die. Is there any way you can get out of trouble? Yi Tian asked these elders and Ma Zhen. I can't get out of trouble. A veteran replied. If you were not sealed, we would wake up temporarily, otherwise we would all fall into a deep sleep. After all, it is too boring. If we don't fall asleep, we will all go crazy. We are the only ones who are sealed here. Could it be that other legendary bitter beasts won't be sealed when they enter here? Yi Tian asked this question. If he won't be sealed, he is going to copy the body of a legendary bitter beast and sneak in here. A veteran said. The most powerful means of this legendary bitter beast is the seal. If we remove the means of sealing, his strength is not strong, and we are really not afraid of it. The reason why it seals us is also because we are not sure about it. Kill us. Ordinary legendary bitter beasts will be killed immediately if they enter here. And powerful legendary bitter beasts will not actually enter its territory. Moreover, in these long years, there has never been a legendary bitter beast that has ever entered here to look for dead people. So it is. Yi Tian felt a little difficult. He couldn't bear to give up so many items of the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules. After talking again and again, Yi Tian was still unable to obtain useful information. Soon after, these elders and Demon Venerable fell into a deep sleep one after another, and they didn't respond to Yi Tian's call. Subsequently, after calculating again and again, Yi Tian felt that there was only one way that would work with a high probability. That is to study the sealing ability of Abyss 10,000 skulls, to study it, so as to create a supernatural power that can resist the seal ability of Abyss 10,000 skulls, resist it a little, so as to delay a little time, and snatch the first sequence of Supreme Tao rule items for other cloned bodies prepare. In this way, there may be hope to snatch those Abyssal Skull Stones. Then start researching. He is being sealed, so he naturally has enough research ability for these sealing abilities. It's just that the other elder demons are sealed. Even if they want to study, they can't actually operate it. But Yi Tian's other duplicated bodies are free, so they can actually operate, so as to study the sealing ability a little bit. In this way, the long years passed. 10,000 Supreme Tao Era. 100,000 Tao Era. The era of millions to the Tao. Gradually, Yi Tian studied the sealing ability for more than 2 million years in the Tao era, and finally researched a little bit of mystery on this day, and successfully created a first-order Supreme Tao supernatural power. There is a high probability that this first-order supernatural power can persist for a while, and it will be sealed later. At least it can be delayed for a while. You can try it. This day, Yi Tian's two duplicate bodies entered the legendary Sea of Bitterness, and went to the Abyss of 10,000 Skulls. After arriving here, the two duplicate bodies separated. One of the duplicate bodies directly broke into the territory of the Abyss and thousands of skeletons. Boom! Sensing Yi Tian's arrival, Abyss 10,000 skeletons were immediately furious, and cast their own sealing technique. And at this time, Yi Tian mobilized the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules, and displayed the first sequence of Supreme Tao supernatural powers created by himself over the long years, anti-seal Supreme Taoism. In an instant, the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules formed a special barrier, enveloping Yi Tian. And the sealing power of Abyss 10,000 skulls was blocked by this special barrier. Even if the barrier was about to collapse, at least it was blocked. The other side, Yi Tian's duplicate body quickly shuttled to the bottom of the legendary Sea of Bitterness, heading straight for the Abyssal Skull Stones. At this time, the Abyssal Skeleton sensed it, and was furious immediately, and was about to return. And Yi Tian's copy body made a move, using the first sequence of supernatural powers to attack Abyss 10,000 Skulls. It really made Abyss 10,000 Skulls stop moving. It was going to kill Yi Tian's copy body first. The plan is half done. After the next moment, Yi Tian has already arrived at the Abyss Skull Stone. At this time, those elders and demon lords woke up again, and they were shocked when they saw Yi Tian. Another Yi Tian, I'll go, you actually have a clone. Get us out. And Yi Tian naturally ignored them, he directly took away those abyss skull stones, and then fled quickly, because his other duplicate body could no longer hold on. At the moment Yi Tian escaped, the duplicate body could no longer hold on, and the anti-seal until the Taoist technique was broken, the sealing technique of the abyss 10,000 skulls wrapped Yi Tian, completely sealing it into a statue, and fell into a deep sleep seabed. But Yi Tian directly lifted the two sealed duplicate bodies. Click. The two statues disintegrated directly, which made Abyss Wenku stunned, had it for a moment. Immediately afterwards, it began to hunt down the duplicate body that Yi Tian escaped from. However, it was already a step too late to hunt down at this time. The attack power and speed of Abyss 10,000 skulls are not very high, so they didn't catch up with Yi Tian for a while, and it didn't chase very far before returning. Just because it has such a powerful strength only in its own territory, naturally it will not leave its own territory. Legend has it that there is somewhere in the Sea of Bitterness. Yi Tian stopped. The Abyss 10,000 skeletons did not continue to chase and kill, and it really won't chase out of its own territory. Yi Tian breathed a sigh of relief, and immediately became excited. So many items of the first sequence of Supreme Principles are all his now, and his gains are simply unimaginable. Then, Yi Tian returned to the outside world, returning to the human domain. Only after going back, he will really feel at ease. Chapter 2922 The body of myth has transformed 3 times, and its strength has skyrocketed. Human domain. When Yi Tian came back, he breathed a sigh of relief. There are so many items of the first sequence of the rule of law, enough for me to use. Yi Tian took out the Abyss Skull Stone, and then began to comprehend the first sequence of supreme rules with the aid of the Miro statue. The Abyss Skull Stone is a low-quality first-order rule of the Tao, and has great side effects. According to the identification of the innate original treasure of the Eye of Appraisal, refining the Abyss Skull Stone will be corroded by a terrible force in the origin of the myth. The price is very high. But, Yi Tian didn't care at all. In the years that followed, Yi Tian continued to refine the Abyssal Skull Stones one by one, using these Abyssal Skull Stones to comprehend the first sequence of Supreme Principles. Gradually, the realm of Yi Tian's first sequence of Supreme Tao rules is getting higher and higher. At the same time that Yi Tian's first sequence of Supreme Tao rules was promoted, his Zeon mythical body also began to complete the second transformation. This day, the Dragon Scale mythical body began its second transformation. This is because he used the legendary blood treasure to absorb a large amount of resources for improvement, and also used various resources that can help improve the mythical body, so the progress is so fast. Boom! The Dragon Scale mythical body completed the second transformation, which made Yi Tian's body stronger and his strength improved a bit. In the years that followed, various mythical bodies completed the 122nd transformation, and their strength became stronger and stronger. It has been a long time since Yi Tian's 18 kinds of powerful mythical bodies have all completed their second transformation. And at this time, his first sequence of Supreme Tao rules has finally been raised to the realm of 100% perfection, and the statue of Mi Luo is very useful to be able to raise the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules to this level so quickly. This day, the first elder sent a notification letter, and after 5 million Tao eras, the ranking of elders will be re-ranked. There are only 36 veterans in the Innate Origin Alliance, and there have always been so many people in this position. If you want to enter this ranking, you have to challenge the top 36 veterans. Certainly, if you are in the top 36 and want to make your ranking higher, you can also challenge. But under normal circumstances, the positions of the top 10 have not changed for countless years. The main reason is that their strength has almost reached the limit. It is very difficult to improve again, unless they obtain an amazing innate treasure. Let the strength skyrocket. Many elders received this subpoena, but they didn't care too much. Anyway, it had nothing to do with them, and they knew that they could not become the top 36 elders. Therefore, this matter has nothing to do with them, so what should they do? But, Yi Tian paid much attention to it. Perhaps I have hope of entering the top 36. Yi Tian thought. Certainly, he is definitely not qualified now. After all, the power is not too strong. Even if he has comprehended the first sequence of the Supreme Tao rules of the Consummation Realm, his cultivation base has not yet been improved, and the body of the mythical Zeon has only completed 2 transformations. The body of Zeon legend, but at most it is equivalent to the body of Zeon myth that has transformed 5 or 6 times. And among the top 36 elders, there are also elders who have walked the road from the strongest to the Tao. They have also completed 7 or 8 times of mythical body transformation, and their cultivation bases have almost reached the late stage of the mythical to the Tao state and even the peak state. In comparison, he has no advantage now. There are still 5 million Tao era, and there is still plenty of time. If I use the divine Changzu to absorb various precious resources and don't care about the price, there is a high probability that I can raise my cultivation to the middle stage of the mythical Tao realm. The first sequence of supreme Tao rules has been completed. There is no way to improve this aspect. Then you can only upgrade the Xeon mythical body. There should be hope for the Xeon mythical body to complete the third transformation, but it will also consume infinite precious resources. The years that followed, Yi Tian doesn't care about the consumption of resources at all kinds of top-level resources are constantly refining, just to improve his own strength. There are also a few veterans whose strength is close to the first level, and they are also desperately improving their strength, and they all want to enter the ranks of the top 36 veterans. This is not only a reputation, but also a benefit. Some resources, only the top 36 veterans have the opportunity to enjoy, which is why everyone wants to be the top 36 veterans. Moreover, in many secret meetings, these 36 elders will not inform ordinary elders. Therefore, if you have the strength, you have to fight for this spot. Time flies. Yi Tian doesn't have any free time at all. Copying the bodies one by one is hard training, and also creating various top-level first-order supernatural powers. It would be good to increase a little more strength. Gradually, Yi Tian's strength gradually increased. 1 million Tao era, 2 million to the Tao era, 3 million Tao era. Finally, the time for the 5 million Zidao era is approaching. This day, boom, with the help of the innate treasure of Shen Changzu, Yi Tian's cultivation finally broke through to the middle stage of the mythical realm. Shortly thereafter, his dragon-scale mythical body also completed its third transformation. Since all his mythical bodies practiced at the same time, other powerful mythical bodies also completed the third transformation one after another. Before the Elder Sorting battle, all his mythical bodies completed the third transformation. It's almost there. This time I will definitely be able to win one of the top 36 seniors. Yi Tian murmured. The headquarters of the Congenital Origin Alliance. A duplicate body of Yi Tian came here, along with the Eye of Appraisal and the statue of Miro. Because of the statue of Miro, the domain of Mira disappeared temporarily, and only after it was put back can the domain of Mira be reopened. And Yi Tian's wife, son, and daughter also came with him, and they would not delay their practice because of the absence of Mila domain. Yi Tian's family of 4 came to the headquarters of the Innate Origin Alliance, which still aroused the envy of many elders. Elder Yi Tian, Elder Yi Xingchen, Elder Xiao Yu, Senior Yi Xingyu, many elders also, say hello. Yi Tian and the others also responded, chatting briefly. Su Yuan and Su Ho, like the Su family, also came, and now Su Yuan has finally recovered from his injuries. However, these veterans are just here to watch the excitement, not to participate. After all, if they are not strong enough, it would be embarrassing to sign up. Time passed slowly, and many elders came, but there were still elders who did not come. Soon, here comes the first senator. Everyone, if you want to challenge the top 36 veterans, you can sign up now. After the first elder spoke, several elders went to sign up. And Yi Tian also signed up in the past. Chapter 2923 Challenge the 35th Veteran. Elder Yi Tian also signed up. Soho was shocked. She admitted that Yi Tian's strength is stronger than hers. After breaking through to become a veteran, his strength is very strong, but the first 36 veterans are far from comparable to ordinary veterans, and their strength is extremely terrifying. Yi Tian's strength is still far from the top 36 veterans, right? Not only Su Ho, but many elders were shocked and looked at Yi Tian one after another. But every elder has the right to sign up, so they didn't say anything. In the end, 6 elders applied for the challenge. Old Lihuo, which elder do you want to challenge? Asked the first patriarch. Elder Lihuo said respectfully, First elder, I want to challenge the 36th elder Jin Zan. Elder Jingshuan is not here at the moment. If you want to challenge him, I need to inform him. It will take a while before he comes back. The 10th elder said. This is not because the 36th elder deliberately avoided the challenge, but because he had something important to come back for a while. He won't come back until someone challenges him. Then I will challenge the 35th veteran, the veteran Yingding. Lihuo Yuanlao said. Can. The first senator agreed. Wow. Elder Yingding stepped out and accepted the challenge from Elder Lihuo. Let's fight in the void domain. The first elder said. Immediately, Elder Yingying and Elder Lihuo walked into the imaginary domain, and the first elder drew an area for them to fight in this area. Boom! The Lihuo elder broke out with the cultivation base of the late stage of the mythological Dao realm, and the realm of the second order supreme Dao rule 90%, and he also walked the path of the strongest to the Dao, completing 7 transformations and becoming extremely powerful. The elder Yingying is also very powerful. His cultivation has reached the peak of the mythical to the Dao realm. He has comprehended the 100% realm of the second sequence to the Dao rule, and completed 8 transformations of the mythical body. It's just that the elder Yingying didn't walk the path of being the strongest to the Dao, but he also refined the legendary spiritual objects, and his foundation became very strong, second only to the road of the strongest to the Dao. Therefore, his strength may be stronger. Boom! The two sides fought together, which made the other elders look at it extremely. Lihuo's strength is very close to Yingying's, otherwise he would not choose to challenge. However, the strength of Lihuo's veteran was still weaker in the end, and he fell into a disadvantage. But at this moment, the aura of an innate treasure emerged from Lihuo's body, and his various attack methods suddenly surged, and began to crush Yingying's elder. I also have innate treasures that can improve combat power. A gun appeared in the hands of the old man Yingjiang, which was obviously an innate treasure. With this long spear in hand, the strength of the elder Yingying skyrocketed, crushing the elder Lihuo again. During another battle, Lihuo's elder was injured, and the injury was serious. Admit defeat, Lihuo Yuanlao said. It is meaningless to continue playing. He has already played all his cards, but he still can't win. If he continues to play, he will only be on the verge of death, and he has to be rescued by the first elder, then it is meaningless. Seeing the strength of Elder Yingjiang, the other elders were not ready to challenge him, and some elders began to challenge the 34th elder. The strength of the 35th elders cannot be divided according to their rankings. It is possible that the 35th elder is stronger than the 34th elder. The 34th elder is the elder of Daogu, and also the elder of the Dao clan. I saw that the strength of the elder Dao Jiyu was no less than that of the elder Yingying, and the other elders still failed to challenge. One of the elders failed in the challenge, and the other elders were not surprised at all. After all, once you become the top 36 veterans, you will get a lot of resources and benefits, and your strength will definitely be stronger. It will be extremely difficult for later veterans to enter the top 36. Unless the first 36 veterans fall, chances will be given to latecomers. But in this period, none of the top 36 veterans has fallen, and they don't think any veterans can squeeze into the top 36. Old Yi Tian, which elder do you want to challenge? The first elder looked over. The other veterans also looked over. They didn't think Yi Tian had the hope of succeeding in the challenge, but they hoped to be curious about Yi Tian's strength. After all, Yi Tian is now a legend in the Congenital Origin Alliance. His strength has improved too fast. The point is, Yi Tian not only became the elder himself, but also trained his 3 family members to become elders together, which is very powerful. 0. I want to challenge the elder Yingying. Yi Tian said. Okay, let's get started. The first elder said. Asterisk 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 asterisk. In the imaginary domain, Yi Tian and the elder Yingying appeared here, and the two sides began to fight directly. Boom! Various Xeon mythical bodies emerged from Yi Tian's body. 18 kinds of Xeon mythical bodies erupted, and all of them completed their 3rd transformation. This scene shocked the other elders, and even the elder Yingying was shocked. 18 kinds of Xeon legendary bodies are equivalent to consuming 18 kinds of Xeon legendary blood. Where did Yi Wuguang get so many Chekyang legendary blood? These elders were extremely puzzled. Moreover, how much resources would be spent to complete the 3 transformations of the 18 kinds of Xeon mythical bodies is simply an astronomical figure. The first elder was also a little surprised. He thought Yi Tian was just trying, but he didn't expect that he really had the strength to compete for the top 36 elders. Yi Tian should have obtained a kind of innate treasure that helps to improve the mythical body, otherwise it would be impossible to improve so comfortably in a short period of time. First elder guess. Shantian Yuanbao has various abilities, and he even suspects that Yi Tian's clone ability is a kind of Shantian Yuanbao's ability. In fact, many veterans had guessed, but it was not easy to snatch Yi Tian's opportunity. 18 kinds of powerful mythical bodies, transformed 3 times, indeed very evil, but unfortunately such strength is still not enough. Yingjiang Yuanlao said. Really, the first sequence of Supreme Dao rules appeared on Yi Tian's body again, and he reached the perfect state. A terrifying aura erupted, causing the faces of all the elders of Yingjiang to change. He felt that he might lose this time. You can't hide your strength anymore, you must all explode. Boom. There are 3 auras of innate treasures emerging from the elder Yingding, all of which are helpful to improve his strength. He wants to give it his all. The same is true for Yi Tian. Activated by the appraisal eye, the statue of Mi Luo merged into his body, erupting with even stronger fighting power. Boom. Yi Tian fought against the old man Yingding, and from the very beginning, Yi Tian had the upper hand, sending the old man Yingding flying with one blow. Seeing this scene, the other elders were amazed. Chapter 2924 Rank the 35th Veteran, The Swords of the Heavens. Yi Tian fought against the elder Yingding, and he still has the upper hand. If some elders said this before the challenge, they would definitely not believe it. But now, I have to believe it. Boom. Yi Tian fought against the elder Yingding continuously, crushing him all the way. The elder Yingding went all out, but still lost to the sky. The rules of the first sequence of Supreme Tao have actually comprehended the realm of perfection. The first elder was also quite surprised. The rules of the Supreme Way have always been very difficult to comprehend, especially the rules of the first sequence of the Supreme Way. Among the elders, only a few or a dozen people have successfully comprehended them, and only a few of them have comprehended the first sequence of the rules of the Supreme Way, Patriarch. Only in the realm of the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules, Yi Tian is already enough to rival the top few veterans. It only needs Yi Tian's cultivation base to be upgraded to 260, and complete several transformations of various Xeon mythical bodies, and he will definitely be among the top few veterans. Soon, the elder Yingding was forced to admit defeat, because there was no point in continuing to fight. I surrender. As soon as the elder Yingding said this, it meant that Yi Tian had become the 35th elder. Certainly, the elder Yingding can also challenge the other elders within the top 36. If he wins, he can continue to be among them. Really, elder Yingding chose to continue the challenge, but he challenged the 36th elder, and when the 36th elder came, his injuries would be recuperated. Within 36 elders, who else wants to challenge? Asked the first patriarch. At this time, the 25th elder came out and said, I want to challenge the 18th elder. It's the 25th elder Ling. Many elders secretly said. Elder Ling is very low-key, but his strength is not weak. He is also a veteran who has survived from the incomparably ancient era to the present, but it is unexpected that he challenged the 18th elder. The 18th elder is also here, and he accepted the challenge of Ling elder. Soon, the two sides played against each other. At this time, Elder Ling actually showed the realm of the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules, which shocked all the elders. For a long time, the elders of Ling have shown the second order Supreme Law, but now they have exposed the first order Supreme Law, and it is not a preliminary comprehension. Obviously, the comprehension has been a long time ago. It's hidden so deep, a group of elders secretly thought. Of course, it's not just the elders of Ling. Many elders are deeply hidden. There are even elders who have not entered the top 36. Their strength may be stronger than those among the top 36. Astonishing innate original treasure. I just don't want to expose the innate original treasure. Some top innate original treasures only increase their strength, which may increase their combat power by 10 times. Once exposed, it will be bad, and it is normal to hide it. Therefore, don't underestimate any elder. Especially the top 36 veterans, any one of them may hide more strength. Boom. The 25th veteran and the 18th veteran fought for a long time, showing incomparably terrifying fighting power, revealing every piece of innate treasure, just to win. In the end, the 25th veteran Ling defeated and became the new 18th veteran. But after that, no veteran continued to challenge, and the ranking was still fixed and would not change for the time being. Another period of time passed. The 36th veteran came back. Yingding challenged the 36th veteran, but lost. At this point, Ying Zheng was kicked out of the ranks of 36 veterans, and he was extremely depressed. But he is weak, and if he loses, he loses. The headquarters of the Congenital Origin Alliance, the Hall of Elders. Yi Tian was brought into the treasure house of the Hall of Elders by the first elder. At this time, the first elder said, Old Yi Tian, there are some innate treasures in the treasure house of the Yuanlao Hall. Although there are not many of them, there are regulations in the Yuanlao Hall. Anyone who enters the rank of 36 elders for the first time veteran, you will get a piece of Shantian Yuanbao for free. Get a piece of Shantian Yuanbao for free. Yi Tian was shocked. Why is the Shantian Yuanyu alliance so generous, even sending Shantian Yuanbao directly? The first elder said, the resources in this treasury are often developed together in a treasure land, and part of the resources are sent to the treasury. A few of them are purchased from below, but those who are weak to the Tao realm do not know each other. Gradually, a small number of innate treasures were stored in the treasury, and it was not easy to distribute, so this plan was chosen. The top 36 elders all agreed, but they could only choose one. I see. Yi Tian followed the first elder into the treasure house. There are many resources in the treasury, and almost all of them are good things. Bad treasures will not be placed here. Yi Tian came to the place where the original innate treasures were stored, and there were 17 original innate treasures in total. Here are 17 innate treasures, you can choose one of them. The first elder did not introduce the functions of the 17 original treasures, because he had not refined them before, so naturally he was not very clear. What kind of original treasures he could obtain depended on his own luck. Yi Tian activated the appraisal eye to appraise these innate treasures, and if they were of high value, he would choose them. Soon, each piece of Shantian Yuanbao was appraised by Yi Tian, and their specific uses were also appraised one by one. When all the 17 original innate treasures were appraised, he chose the one that was most useful to him. Shantian Yuanbao. The sword discs of the heavens can be stimulated by several people who are connected with each other to form a terrifying sword array of the heavens. They can also be integrated into the original realm of the heavens to form an indestructible offensive and defensive formation. For Yi Tian, this innate original treasure is the most useful. Although other innate original treasures also have innate original treasures to assist in cultivation, the function of the innate original treasure in his hand overlaps. But the heavenly sword pan is different. If it is integrated into the 3.5 human domain, and a few duplicate bodies are placed in command, controlling the innate sword pan, even the first elder may not be able to break through the human domain. In this way, he will really feel at ease. Even if the congenital original realm alliance and the void demon of the supreme Tao go to war in the future, he is expected to preserve the human domain, so that the race will not be destroyed, and he will not let himself be destroyed. So, the sword disc of the heavens is too powerful. I choose this, Yi Tian said to a Shantian Yuanbao in front of him who looked like a matrix. $7. The first elder nodded. Immediately, Yi Tian took away the heavenly sword disc, feeling extremely excited inside, but he didn't show it. Subsequently, Yi Tian came out from the Hall of Elders and returned to the human domain. Immediately, he began to study the sword disc of the heavens, trying to develop the ability of the sword disc of the heavens. Chapter 2925 The Abyss of Eternal Darkness. It is not difficult for Yi Tian to study the sword disc of the heavens in a targeted manner. Time flies. Hundreds of thousands of Tao eras have passed. This day, Yi Tian finally researched the All-Heavens Sword formation ability of the All-Heavens Sword Pan, as well as the ability to integrate the All-Heavens Sword Pan into the innate realm, so he began to integrate the All-Heavens Sword Pan into the human domain. The sword disc of the heavens, wrong. The swords of the heavens and the origin of the human domain began to merge, and the swords of the heavens were used to suppress the origin of the human domain and control the entire human domain. Buzz. During the fusion of the heavenly sword plate and the human domain, the heavenly sword formation also perfectly merged with the human domain, protecting the entire human domain with the heavenly sword formation. At this moment, human realm seems to contain a terrifying edge. If anyone dares to attack human realm, it is tantamount to attacking the heavenly sword formation. Subsequently, several copies of Yi Tian's bodies are respectively sitting on several formation nodes of the heavenly sword pan, guarding here at all times. Once someone attacks the human domain, he can immediately control the heavenly sword formation to form an indestructible defense. Now, even Yi Tian could sense the horror of the sword formation of the heavens, and even his full attack could not shake the sword formation of the heavens. With the sword disc of the heavens, there will be no worries in the human domain. Yi Tian murmured. Certainly, he didn't tell others about this matter, nor did he tell other elders. After becoming the 35th veteran of the Congenital Origin Alliance, almost all major matters of the Congenital Origin Alliance are decided after discussion, and they control all the information. Not only that, he has a share of the resource treasures occupied by the Congenital Origin Alliance. He may not look down on that share, but if that share is given to the race, it is enough to cultivate many strong people. The resources accumulated over the long years are still very impressive. This is also one of the reasons why many elders want to become the top 36 elders. This day, the first senator summoned many other 36 senators to a meeting in the Hall of Elders. Yi Tian came to the Hall of Elders, and many other former 36 elders came, but ordinary elders did not come. Obviously, the content of this meeting must have nothing to do with ordinary elders. In the splendid hall, one of the elders sat down. Seeing that it was almost here, the first elder said, "Everyone, it's time for the shift change of the abyss of eternal darkness." Who will guard it this time? Many elders were silent, and each of them showed unwillingness. Obviously, everyone doesn't want to go to the abyss of eternal night. The first elder said, "Everyone, the 30th elder has been sitting in the abyss of eternal darkness for 100 million to the Tao era, and the time has come, we must rotate." At this time, the 31st elder said, "First elder, we have all been in the abyss of eternal darkness. It seems that Elder Yitian has never been there. Moreover, Elder Yitian has many avatars. It should be no problem to send one avatar to sit in the abyss of eternal darkness." When the other elders heard this, they nodded immediately. That's right, Yitian's avatar is very special, similar to the main body, so it is naturally possible to sit in the abyss of eternal darkness. Others said in succession. Yitian was speechless. He didn't even know what the abyss of eternal darkness was, so these guys recommended him to go. Don't think about it, the abyss of eternal darkness must be a pit, if not, it is impossible for all these veterans to be unwilling to go. Elder Yitian, what's your opinion? The first elder looked over and asked. Everyone, where is the abyss of eternal darkness? Yitian asked. The first elder introduced. Eternal darkness abyss can also be said to be an innate original domain, but it is a collection of negative forces of many innate original domains. Any world has negative forces, and the same is true for innate original domains. Covering all innate original domains, the large formation of the innate original domain in the domain also has the effect of drawing away its negative power, and all the negative power is drawn to the eternal abyss so that all the innate original domains can develop rapidly without being affected by internal factors. So it is. Yitian understood. Immediately, he asked again, "Seniors, is there any danger in the abyss of eternal darkness?" "It's dangerous," the first elder said. "The abyss of eternal darkness is filled with countless abyssal creatures, each of which has no intelligence and only knows how to kill. The most powerful abyssal creatures are sealed in the depths of the eternal dark abyss, and there are many creatures of the abyss in the periphery. In order to prevent them from rushing out, a veteran must be sent to guard. If any rush out, kill them." "Is there no way to kill them all?" Yitian asked. The first elder shook his head. "It's useless, kill them all, and they will still be bred in a short time. And every time you slaughter them, 1 or 2 elders may fall, so the gain is not worth the loss. Therefore, the powerful abyss to the Tao monster seal, this is the best way." Understood. Yitian nodded. Immediately, he agreed. After all, these veterans recommended him to guard the abyss of eternal darkness, so he can't say no to it. The 100 million Supreme Tao era is indeed very long, but it will pass gradually. Yitian asked the last question again, "Is there any treasure in the abyss of eternal darkness?" "There are really treasures," the first elder said. "The abyss of eternal darkness may give birth to innate treasures and first-order items of the highest order, but almost all of them are low-quality first-order items of the highest order, which are of little value. And almost all of them are in the depths of the abyss of eternal darkness." "Right, if there are any amazing treasures, the first elder will go in." Then, 157 Yitian did not continue to ask. The central area of the innate original domain alliance with countless innate original domains, inside a sealed area. Yitian came here, and here was a 33-layer large formation arranged by the innate origin alliance, layer by layer. And Yitian obtained the authority, passed through the 33 layers of formation, and only then saw the abyss of eternal darkness. On the edge of the abyss of eternal darkness, the Sun Palace stands here. A young man in red was making a move there, blasting and killing an abyssal creature that was trying to rush out. 30th veteran, Yitian appeared in front of the youth, said. "You are the new 35th veteran." The 35th veteran showed excitement, because he was finally going out. It was too boring to stay here, and he didn't even have time to practice, so he had to guard here all the time. "It's me," Yitian said. "The first elder has an order to let me change shifts." The 35th veteran, "Then I'll leave this place to you." The 35th veteran handed Yitian the token to control the formation here, and ordered some things. The 35th veteran, "Don't enter the abyss of eternal darkness, no matter what you see, don't go in. Once you enter the abyss of eternal darkness, our strength will be suppressed. If those creatures from the abyss join forces and endless creatures will besiege you, you still have the possibility of falling." Clear. Yitian nodded. Chapter 2926. A large number of items of the first sequence of Supreme Rules. The 30th elder left the abyss of eternal darkness, and Yitian was stationed here. The creatures of the abyss do not try to rush out all the time, only occasionally some creatures of the abyss rush out. However, he needs to stare at the abyss of eternal darkness all the time. Such a boring life is also torture for those elders. They would rather sleep than stay here. In the beginning, Yi Tian guarded the abyss of eternal darkness honestly, and occasionally suppressed some creatures of the abyss. The weakest of the abyss to Dao creatures here are comparable to the legendary to Dao creatures, and the most powerful ones are even comparable to ordinary elders. It is precisely because of this that if there were no top 36 elders to guard them, they would really be unable to withstand these creatures of the abyss. There are treasures in the abyss of eternal darkness, why not go in and have a look? Naturally, Yi Tian didn't copy his real body to go in, but copied the body of an abyss creature, and then broke in. In this way, they shouldn't be besieged by other abyssal creatures, right? But it's not certain. After all, these abyssal creatures will kill each other. Buzz. Yi Tian began to condense the abyss creature called the Abyss Ancient Ape. The strength of this abyss is comparable to that of the mythical abyss in the early stage of King Kong, and it can be copied. Soon, the abyssal ape was copied. Immediately afterwards, Yi Tian walked into the abyss of eternal darkness with the cloned body of the abyssal ancient ape. The abyss of eternal darkness. Yi Tian came in and felt countless negative energies, as if even his will would be affected. It's no wonder that the creatures here don't have spiritual intelligence. Even if they are in the normal legendary realm, if they enter here and stay for a while, they will lose their spiritual intelligence. Yi Tian secretly thought, his will is still very strong, but he can persist for a long time. However, in such an environment, his combat effectiveness will indeed be affected. Suddenly, some creatures from the abyss attacked him. Court death. Yi Tian manipulated the first sequence of Supreme Tao Rule blessings in his hands, blasting them to death. He walked some areas in the abyss of eternal darkness, and he saw fighting everywhere. The creatures from the abyss to the Tao here all grew up in the midst of countless fights. The weak creatures couldn't survive at all, and they were all reduced to the food of other powerful creatures from the abyss to the Tao. It is precisely because of this that many creatures of the abyss and the elders that are comparable to the legendary supreme realm are born here. With the body of an abyssal ancient ape, coupled with the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules, Yi Tian's combat power is also very strong, enough to rank as a second-level veteran. Therefore, he can easily survive here. He is not interested in killing all the creatures of the abyss here, even if they kill them all, they will be bred. Therefore, he is only looking for treasure resources. It would be great if you can find high-quality items of the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules. However, according to the first elder, almost all the items of the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules here are of low quality, but what if there are exceptions? Anyway, just come in and take a look, without wasting time. This is the first sequence of Tao rule items. Yi Tian had just killed an Abyss Supreme Tao creature, and this Abyss Supreme Tao creature insisted on attacking him, so he had no choice but to kill it. However, when he came to the opponent's lair, he found the first sequence of Supreme Tao rule items. Moreover, it is not one piece, but 3 pieces. These 3 items of the first sequence of Supreme Principles are shiny crystal items, which were hung on the wall of the lair by the other party and acted as pendant items. Awesome, use the first sequence of Tao rule items as pendants. Yi Tian was very surprised. However, this kind of low-quality first-order Supreme Tao rule item will be seriously damaged or died if devoured and refined. Naturally, this Abyss Supreme Tao rule item dare not be refined, and it seems to have no other function except as a pendant. Take away. Yi Tian took it away. Although there is no way to use it now, but you can slowly study it in the future. If you find a way to erase the side effects, you can use this first-order rule of thumb item. For a relatively long time after that, Yi Tian hung around the periphery of the abyss of eternal darkness. He found a lot of items of the first series of Supreme Tao rules. If it was before, he would be absolutely excited. But now, he has already comprehended the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules, and has reached the state of perfection, so why did he need these first sequence of Supreme Tao rules items? There is probably nothing good in the periphery. Would you like to go to the depths of the abyss of eternal darkness? Yi Tian secretly thought. In the depths, the first elder and the others arranged a formation, sealing a group of terrifying creatures from the abyss. This seal is mainly to seal the depths, so that they cannot come out. However, it is very easy to get in. Go in and have a look. Yi Tian secretly thought. However, before going in, he had to send out what he found. Then, his abyssal ape's cloned body sent out these first-order items and some resources, which were received by the cloned body of his real body. Then, Yi Tian's abyssal ape clone entered the abyss of eternal darkness again. In the depths of the eternal dark abyss. There is a big formation here, it's mystery, even Yi Tian can't understand it. It should have been arranged by the first elder, it's too complicated. Yi Tian observed for a while, and found that the Supreme Tao rules involved in this grand formation did not seem to be the first series of Supreme Tao rules, but surpassed the first series of lane rules. The first elder did not walk the path of being the strongest in the Tao, but his strength far surpassed the other elders. He must have comprehended the rules that surpassed the rules of the first sequence of the Tao. Now it seems to be true. Yi Tian secretly thought, he couldn't understand these rules, let alone this formation, so he walked in directly. Yi Tian was sucked into the abyss of eternal darkness by the moneyed formation, and when he looked back, when he tried to get out, he couldn't get out. His duplicate body is an abyssal ancient ape, a creature of the abyss, and those terrifying creatures of the abyss can't get out, so naturally he can't get out either. Let's take a stroll in the depths of this eternal dark abyss. Before Yi Tian had traveled too far, he encountered an incomparably terrifying creature from the abyss. The opponent was completely broken. It was obvious that he had just experienced a tragic battle, but now he was eyeing Yi Tian again. Open black lens bracket abyss mysterious python close black lens bracket. This abyss python directly killed Yi Tian, and countless black mist turned into a sea of black mist, trying to suppress and kill Yi Tian. But rubbish. Yi Tian forcibly blocked the opponent's attack by relying on the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules, and began to fight with the opponent. The cultivation base of this abyssal python is very high, reaching the peak of the mythical realm. If it is seriously injured, his duplicate body is no match at all. Chapter 2927 Eternal Rule Disc. After a fight, Yi Tian's abyssal ancient ape copied the body and escaped. And this abyssal python didn't keep chasing and killing it. After all, the opponent didn't have much intelligence, and didn't have the idea of chasing and killing it to the end. After all, the creatures from the abyss that Yi Tian met were extremely powerful, but there were not many creatures from the abyss here. If there were a lot of them, wouldn't the congenital origin alliance be opponents? That would be abnormal. Find a low-quality first-order supreme rule item. Yi Tian was delighted. It seems that there are quite a few items of the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules here, and not long after I came in, I found one. He also put it away and continued to search for treasures. In order to prevent himself from being killed, he duplicated a duplicate body, so as to ensure that he would not fall at the same time. Time passed slowly, and Yi Tian gradually figured out the strength of the abyssal creatures in the depths of the eternal darkness. There are a total of 122 abyssal creatures, most of which belong to the second-grade elders, among which are comparable to there are about 10 abyssal primordial creatures at the level of 36 elders. Yi Tian's abyssal ancient ape copy body will be instantly killed when encountering them. This day, Yi Tian found a creature from the Abyss Titan, fighting with another creature from the Abyss to 483. These two abyssal creatures are both 36 elders, and Yi Tian took the opportunity to enter the Abyssal Titan's lair. Really, there are many good things in the lair of the Abyss Titans. Although the Abyss Titans have no intelligence, they still have instincts. The instincts have collected some good things. Yi Tian directly took the pot away, and then fled quickly. Once the Abyss Titan came back, he would instinctively become angry and hunt him down. Therefore, he must take the opportunity to send these treasures out. Certainly, the abyssal ancient ape's duplicated body will definitely not be able to get out. After all, this duplicated body is also a creature of the abyss, and it will definitely be sealed here. But he can copy the real body and copy the body, so he is not restricted and can go out from here. This formation is arranged by the first elder, and only restricts the creatures of the abyss. If the elders are restricted, how can they go in and clean up the creatures of the abyss? You must leave a way for yourself. Soon, Yi Tian condensed his real body to copy his body. As soon as the duplicate body of the real body appeared, it immediately attracted a terrifying creature from the abyss. They are extremely disgusted with the breath of the elders, and they will kill instinctively. It's time to go. Yi Tian escaped from the depths of the abyss of eternal darkness with many treasures, but was also besieged by a large number of abyssal creatures on the periphery. Then, Yi Tian fought all the way out, and finally came out of the abyss of eternal darkness at the cost of serious injuries. Sure enough, even with my strength, it is possible to fall on the outer edge of the abyss of eternal darkness. If I hadn't superimposed too many powerful legendary bodies, I would have fallen inside. Yi Tian murmured. But when Yi Tian came out, a large number of abyssal creatures rushed out. Outside the abyss of eternal darkness, Yi Tian's strength can be fully displayed, and he can also use the formation here to suppress these creatures of the abyss. He can block these creatures of the abyss by himself. If you really can't stop it, you can also ask for support. But Yi Tian doesn't need support yet. It's up to you guys to figure it out, and I'll die. Yi Tian mobilized the big formation, and shot with all his strength. Buzz. The first series of Supreme Tao rules turned into silk threads, which penetrated the bodies of Abyss Supreme Tao creatures, blasting them to death, and their bodies fell into the abyss of eternal darkness. Gradually, other Abyss creatures dare not rush out due to instinctive fear. After a while, swimming dark abyss returned to normal. Phew, it's finally done. Yi Tian breathed a sigh of relief, at least he could rest. Subsequently, he began to sort out the resources, and let another duplicate body with the eye of appraisal come over. He wanted to appraise these items, especially the 2 innate original treasures found in the lair of the Abyss Titans, and he also had to focus on appraisal a bit. Soon, Yi Tian's copy body with the eye of appraisal came. So, he began to identify these 2 innate original treasures. The first innate original treasure was quickly identified. Congenital original treasure escape domain stone, has a very strong power to escape from the sky, can cross a long territory in an instant, ranks first in the order of Tao rules and cannot be intercepted. It's not a bad innate original treasure. It's suitable for ordinary veterans. If you don't meet a demon master who masters the first sequence of the rules, you can use it to escape. Go back and refine it for your son. It's enough to save his life. Yi Tian murmured. Subsequently, Yi Tian began to appraise the second innate original treasure. This innate original treasure seems to be a bit special. It is a disc with holes in the upper door. He actually sensed the aura of regularity from it, and it is very special. Road rules. Appraisal. The appraisal eye slowly appraised, but it has not been identified for a long time. Obviously, the level of this innate original treasure is much higher than the appraisal eye, so it will take a long time to identify it. After a long time, the appraisal result came out. Open black lens bracket innate original treasure eternal rule disc, has the ability to fuse items with the rules of the Tao, up to the first sequence of items with the rules of the Tao, and can also consume items with the rules of the Tao to form an indestructible rule shield close black lens bracket. Integrate the first sequence of Tao rule items. Yi Tian was surprised. The duplication talent also has the ability to fuse, but it's useless now. Many high-level items can't be integrated, let alone the first sequence of Tao rule items. But this eternal rule disc innate original treasure can do it. I don't know what will become of the first sequence of supreme rule items that are fused. You can try it. His first sequence of supreme Tao rules has been completed, and the items he found this time are all low quality, and they can't be used by his son, wife and daughter. Side effects. Up. Therefore, if it is fused, it will be fused, and there is no big loss. Immediately, he took out 9 items of the first sequence of supreme Tao rules, put them into the holes of the eternal rule disc, and tried to fuse them. No, he has not researched the ability of fusion. Shantian Yuanbao has to research his ability step by step before he can really use it. Then, in the following years, he will study the ability of the eternal rule disc. He took out some low-quality 5th sequence supreme rule items for experimentation. In this way, the long years passed. On this day, he finally researched the ability of the eternal rule disc. Chapter 2928 Comprehend the rules of the eternal sequence. It's finally been researched, and it's time to fuse the items of the first sequence of supreme Tao rules. Yi Tian once again took out those low-quality first-order supreme rule items and placed them in the hole of the eternal rule plate. Immediately afterwards, Yi Tian put the eternal rule disc into his body for refining and activation. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. The eternal rule disc shone brightly, and the 9 low-quality first sequence supreme Tao rule items began to fuse together under the action of the eternal rule disc. Time passed slowly, but at this time, the side effects of the first sequence of supreme Tao items were superimposed on Yi Tian's body, causing his duplicate body to gradually collapse. This is not a side effect of the eternal rule disc, but a side effect of the low-quality first sequence supreme rule item. If he gets the perfect level first-order supreme rule item, then there will be no side effects. It's a pity that he couldn't find the perfect level first sequence of Tao rule items. Therefore, even if the function of the eternal rule disc is discovered by others, it is extremely tasteless, and Yi Tian can only play its role. After the refinement and fusion of copying the body one after another, these 9 first sequence supreme rule items were finally fused into one first sequence supreme rule item, but it was still of low quality. But the first sequence supreme rule contained inside the source of the Tao rule is more powerful, and it is more than 10 times stronger. Continue to merge, Yi Tian decided. Afterwards, he fused all the low-quality items of the first sequence of supreme Tao that he had obtained. As the years passed, the low-quality first-order supreme rule items gradually became one. At this moment, Yi Tian felt that this low-quality first-order rule of law item was about to change, but it was still almost there. The first sequence of supreme Tao rule items is not enough, you have to go to the abyss of eternal darkness to continue collecting the first sequence of supreme Tao rule items. Yi Tian murmured. Then, he continued to search for the first sequence of supreme rule items in the depths of the abyss of eternal darkness. Once he found it, he would find a way to make his real body copy his body and send it out. Although it doesn't come out successfully every time, it can come out most of the time. Gradually, Yi Tian collected more items of the first sequence of supreme Tao rules, and even found 2 innate original treasures, but they were only ordinary innate original treasures that could increase combat power and improve the speed of cultivation. With these low-quality items of the first sequence of supreme principles, Yi Tian continued to integrate them. Finally, the first sequence of items of the rule of Tao after fusion has undergone a transformation. Boom! The first sequence of supreme law items metamorphosed, releasing terrifying fluctuations, which also annihilated Yi Tian's duplicated body. However, his other duplicate body still urged the formation to suppress it, stabilize its aura, and prevent its aura from escaping. After a period of time, this supreme rule item has been successfully transformed. At this time, Yi Tian saw an irregular item appearing in his perception. It was a supreme rule item, but the origin of the supreme rule contained in it had surpassed the first series of supreme rule. Use the eye of appraisal to appraise it. Yi Tian activated the appraising eye, and after appraising for a long time, he finally came out. Eternal sequence supreme Tao rule item, low quality, unknown name, can assist in comprehending the eternal sequence supreme Tao rule. The side effect is close black lens bracket. Then came a series of side effects. After all, this is an item of the eternal sequence of supreme Tao that is a fusion of many low-quality first sequence supreme Tao rule items. Naturally, there are many side effects. It can be said that this treasure is given to other elders, and those elders dare not refine it. Yi Tian is very excited. This is an item of the eternal sequence of the supreme law that surpasses the first sequence of the rule of the supreme law, and he can completely comprehend the eternal sequence of the supreme rule of the eternal sequence by relying on this item of the eternal sequence lane rule. Above the first sequence of supreme Tao rules is the eternal sequence of supreme Tao rules. The first elder and the first devil have absolutely comprehended the eternal sequence of supreme Tao rules, otherwise the strength will not be far beyond other elder demons. Yi Tian guessed. But now, he can also comprehend the rules of the eternal sequence. The next step is to comprehend the rules of the eternal sequence. Yi Tian swallowed this item of the eternal sequence to the rule of Tao into his body, began to refine it, and then comprehended the eternal sequence to the rule of the Tao. However, one of his duplicate bodies didn't last long before collapsing. Therefore, he needs to copy the body many times, and come to comprehend it again and again, so that he can hope to comprehend the rules of the eternal sequence. 0 Seeking flowers. Soon, the first duplicate body is scrapped. Then the second one, the third one, the fourth one. The years passed. Yi Tian didn't know how many times he duplicated his body and consumed a huge amount of resources, but he still didn't care and continued to refine and study. The 10,000 Supreme Tao era has passed. The 50,000 Zidao era has passed. 100,000 Zidao era has passed. It wasn't until the 1.82 million Supreme Tao era that he truly comprehended a trace of the eternal sequence Supreme Tao rule. Boom! Yi Tian's body is permeated with traces of the eternal sequence Supreme Tao rule, and just a ray of eternal sequence Supreme Tao rule contains incomparably terrifying power, and his body is tempered by the eternal sequence Supreme Tao rule, and weak changes are also taking place. 0. The foundation and potential are changing. It is conceivable that it will be easier for him to cultivate the Xeon mythical body in the future than before. My strength is much stronger now than in the past. Even if I am the 35th veteran, I should be able to defeat the opponent with one move. Yi Tian murmured. He reckoned that his strength should have reached the level of the top 10 veterans. As long as his cultivation base and the most powerful mythical body are improved, his future strength can definitely rival or even surpass the first 10. My comprehension of the eternal sequence Supreme Tao rule can't be exposed for the time being, otherwise the number 1 demon will never allow me to grow up. Yi Tian murmured. Then, in the following years, he will focus on improving his cultivation and improving his mythical body. The world of fine wine. A duplicate body of Yi Tian condenses the fine nectar in golden feather liquid here, but this time he condenses it at an incomparably fast speed, because he used the eternal sequence of Supreme Tao rules. Buzz buzz. Drops of fine nectar and golden feather liquid are condensed, and the efficiency is countless times that of the past. I didn't expect that after comprehending the rules of the eternal sequence of Supreme Tao, there will be such benefits. In the future, the human race will not lack the golden feather fluid. Yi Tian thought to himself. Subsequently, he came to the deepest part of the wine world, where the energy is more intense. He is going to condense the energy here to see if he can condense a resource that can improve the cultivation of the elders. Chapter 2929 Eternal Nectar and Golden Liquid, a Breakthrough in Cultivation. Boom! The energy in the depths of the Changye world is condensed by the eternal sequence to the rule of Tao, continuously compressed and gradually condensed. Time flies, Yi Tian keeps compressing, condensing according to the method of condensing the fine nectar and golden feather liquid, striving to condense resources that surpass the fine nectar golden feather liquid. Time flies, and the 10,000 Zidao era has passed. This day, a drop of flawless golden liquid condensed out, and there was no way to continue compressing it. It's done. Yi Tian picked up this drop of golden liquid and swallowed it in one gulp, to see the effect of his improvement. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. His cultivation level is obviously improving, which is much better than refining other resources, and he also uses Shen Changzu to assist in refining, and the effect is faster. It's a very good resource. If I have a few hundred drops, I will most likely be able to upgrade my cultivation to the late stage of mythology to Tao Realm 70. Yi Tian murmured. He gave this golden liquid a name, Eternal Nectar Golden Liquid. In the next few years, he will condense the golden liquid of eternal nectar here, and he can condense a single drop in 10,000 Supreme Tao epochs, and the efficiency is still good. Time flies. Hundreds of thousands know that the era has passed, and Yi Tian has also condensed dozens of drops of eternal essence gold liquid, and his cultivation level has also improved a lot. However, he has exhausted the item of the Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rule, and the comprehension of the Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rule has reached the level of 2 points, which is not bad. Divided into the Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rule, the realm is very low, but there is still hope to create the Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rule. If I can create such a Supreme Tao Rule, my strength will definitely skyrocket. Then, Yi Tian began to work hard to create the Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rule. Although it was very difficult, he could try again and definitely be able to create it. In the depths of the Eternal Dark Abyss, several copies of Yi Tian's real bodies have entered here, and now his strength is comparable to the top 10 veterans. Even if he can't compete with all the creatures of the abyss, he has no problem in surviving. Therefore, he collected more items of the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules and innate original treasures here, and scraped away all the resources here. He is also planning to fuse a few more Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao rule items to enhance his Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao rule realm. In that case, his strength will also increase. Moreover, the more things like Shanti and Yuanbao, the better. After a period of time, he found the first series of items of the rule of the highest order and the innate original treasure that could be found. I actually got 13 innate treasures. Yi Tian was very pleasantly surprised. He has to thank those elders for letting him guard the abyss of eternal darkness, otherwise how could he get such opportunities and benefits? Human domain, Myris domain, Xiao Yu, Yi Xingchen, and Yi Xingyu were all here, and the sky called them to him. Husband, father, the three shouted. Yi Tian took out the escape stone. This innate original treasure can give Yi Xingchen the ability to escape. Unless he meets a strong person who has the first sequence of supreme rules, it will prevent him from using the escape stone to escape. Xingchen, this is the innate original treasure escape domain stone. You often go out to wander, this treasure can give you a very strong life-saving ability. Yi Tian said, "Thank you, father," Yi Xingchen said excitedly. Afterwards, Yi Tian took out another Shantian original treasure. This is the Shantian Yuanbao Meridian Armor, which can be integrated into the body, allowing you to have stronger combat power and defense, as well as the effect of slightly improving your cultivation. Go back and study it yourself, research its ability, and then you can use it. Yi Xingchen was shocked when he took out 2 innate treasures in one go. Now he is also the veteran of the Shantian Origin Domain Alliance, so he naturally knows the preciousness of the Shantian Yuanbao. Some elders don't even have a Shantian Yuanbao, so it is very good to have a Shantian Yuanbao. But Yi Tian sent out 2 pieces of innate original treasure casually, and he naturally had more than these 2 innate original treasures. Then it was his wife Xiao Yu's turn. Xiao Yu seldom ventures nowadays, but as a veteran of the Congenital Origin Alliance, she occasionally has to deal with some things. In addition to the matter of the human race, his wife Xiao Yu is also helping to manage it, and she has to give an innate original treasure. UAA, this is the Shantian Yuan Baolan boundary bead. It allows you to seal yourself instantly, forming an indestructible defense. While sealing yourself, it will also prevent the enemy from hurting you. In addition, it can also stimulate the power of Lin Jiaju to seal the enemy, but it can only seal those who are weaker than oneself. Yi Tian said. Thank you, husband. Xiao Yu accepted the Lin Jiaju. Afterwards, it was her daughter Yi Xingyu's turn, and Yi Tian also took out 2 innate treasures, which had to be the same as her son's. Xingyu, this is the Genzuki plate of Shantian Yuanbao, which can assist in cultivation and enhance certain understanding. This one is Shantian Yuanbao Linglong Gold Clothes, which is a defensive Shantian Yuanbao, which can increase your defense many times and can also increase cultivation. These 2 innate treasures made Yi Xingyu very happy and immediately accepted them. In addition to Shantian Yuanbao, Yi Tian also has gifts. He sent a drop of eternal nectar to each of them, which can improve their cultivation by a lot. This is the golden liquid of eternity, you can use it to practice, and you can greatly improve your cultivation. From now on, every 100,000 epochs, you can come to me to apply for a drop of golden liquid of eternity. Yi Tian said. He has now sent several duplicate bodies to condense the eternal nectar and golden liquid, so there will be no shortage of this stuff for the time being. Yi Xingyu and Xiao Yu, they didn't take the road of being the most powerful in the Tao, and it was a little easier to improve their cultivation base. Therefore, Yi Tian is going to improve their cultivation base while improving his own cultivation base. With these innate treasures and the eternal pure gold liquid, the strength of Xiao Yu, Yi Xingchen, and Yi Xingyu increased rapidly by 2.9. However, compared with Yi Tian's strength increase, it is not worth mentioning. After having multiple copies of the body to condense the eternal nectar and golden liquid, Yi Tian's cultivation base will increase much faster. Before you know it, another 500,000 or 600,000 years have passed since the Tao era. With the help of a large amount of eternal nectar and golden liquid, Yi Tian's cultivation is finally about to be upgraded to the late stage of the mythical realm. Boom! Yi Tian's cultivation has broken through, and his strength has increased a bit. In addition, his mythical Zeon body is about to complete its 4th transformation. Once it completes the 4th transformation, it will be unbelievable. It definitely has the combat power second only to the 1st veteran. I am afraid that even the 2nd veteran and the 3rd veteran, none of them are his opponents. Only then will he have enough confidence to expose his strength. Chapter 2930 Half Announcement of Mira and Hash 039's Domain. After Yi Tian's cultivation broke through to the late stage of the Tao realm, he gave a large amount of eternal nectar to his family. In just a few 100,000 years, the Tao era has passed, and the cultivation of his son Yi Xingchen has broken through to the middle stage of the mythical Tao realm. However, the cultivation of his wife Xiao Yu and daughter Yi Xingyu has been directly raised to the late stage of the mythical Tao realm. And the human race's legendary Tao realm has enough fine nectar and golden feather liquid, so those human race's legendary Tao realm can easily raise their cultivation base to the peak of the legendary Tao realm. The only problem is comprehending the rules of the Supreme Tao. After all, for them, comprehension of the rules of the Supreme Tao can only be comprehended slowly, and the efficiency is relatively slow. This day, Yi Tian called Yi Xingchen, Yi Xingyu, and Xiao Yu to discuss one matter. I'm going to release Mi Luo's domain. Yi Tian said. Yi Xingchen was surprised. Father, the Mila domain is too precious. If you really want to let it go, the news will definitely not be hidden. The other elders will know, and they will definitely put pressure on father. Your father, my strength has skyrocketed, and I have enough power to protect myself. Of course, all 07 will not be released at the moment, only the top elite of the human race will be allowed to come in for enlightenment, and I will make an oath that no leaks will be allowed, and no leaks will be made in a short time. Get out. Yi Tian said. That's no problem, Yi Xingchen nodded. Subsequently, Yi Xingchen went to select the top elites of the human race, that is, those who are said to be at the level of the Tao realm, and who must be loyal to the human race and have good character, so that they can enjoy the treatment of the first batch of people entering Mila's domain. Soon, Yi Xingchen selected more than 30 legends to reach the Tao realm, and prepared to let them enter the Mila realm. After this group of legends reached the Tao realm and entered Mi Luo's domain, Yi Xingchen came forward and explained the mystery here. Immediately, all legends to Tao realms were excited. You must make an oath not to leak this place, otherwise there will be some trouble if the news spreads outside the human domain. Yi Xingchen said. These human races said that they reached the Tao realm and immediately made the Supreme Tao oath. After all, they would not think about leaking it, and this oath has no effect on them. After making the oath, these human legends will be able to practice and comprehend the rules of the Supreme Tao here in the future, and they also want to exchange for high-quality items of the Supreme Tao, so that they can comprehend the Supreme Tao rules faster. Certainly, even Yi Tian didn't give them too many Supreme Law items to exchange, because high-quality 4th-order Supreme Tao items, 3rd-order Supreme Tao items, and 2nd-order Supreme Tao items are really rare. If Yi Tian looks for it now, he can find it, but he is too lazy to look for it. After all, he doesn't expect this group of humans to help him, he just hopes that this group of humans can develop the human race better. Therefore, it is enough to let nature take its course and help occasionally, but if it is the way he helps his family, it will definitely not work. After the half-announcement of Mila's realm, the rules of the Supreme Tao of the human legends Supreme Tao realm have progressed relatively quickly. And Yi Tian is also trying his best to improve his powerful mythical body. After hundreds of thousands of Tao era, his dragon-scale mythical body took the lead in completing the 4th transformation. Boom! Yi Tian's physical strength skyrocketed. In the years that followed, other Xeon mythical bodies also completed their transformation one by one, until the 18 kinds of Xeon mythical bodies all completed their 4th transformation. At this time, his strength has skyrocketed. At the same time, Yi Tian also fused the 2nd eternal sequence to Tao rule item, and used this eternal sequence to Tao rule item to comprehend the eternal sequence to Tao rule. After exhausting this eternal sequence to Tao rule item, his eternal the sequence to Tao rule has reached the 5-point realm. It's a pity that the statue of Miro doesn't help much with the rules of the eternal sequence Supreme Tao, otherwise you can quickly enlighten it. Yi Tian secretly thought, in the blink of an eye, another 1,000,000 years of the Tao era have passed. Compared with the past, Yi Tian's strength has not improved much. If he wants to upgrade the Xeon mythical body to the 5th transformation, it is estimated that he will not be able to do it in 5,000,000 years. The premise is that countless resources have to be consumed. Taking the road of Xeon to Tao really consumes resources, and the cost performance is not high. This is because I have the legendary blood treasure. If there is no legendary blood treasure, it is almost impossible to complete so many transformations of so many Xeon mythical bodies. Possibly, Yi Tian thought to himself. This day, the abyss of eternal darkness. A group of creatures from the abyss tried to rush out, but Yi Tian easily killed them. For him now, these creatures of the abyss are simply too easy. Hall of Elders. The first elder is chatting with Yi Tian. Yi Tian, there is nothing wrong with guarding the abyss of eternal darkness now, right? No problem, Yi Tian said. There are occasional creatures from the abyss that try to come out. It's not difficult to block them with the formation. That's good. The first elder nodded slightly. The two chatted and discussed an important matter. According to my information, the first demon lord is practicing in closed doors. He took away all the fragments of the ancient yuan fruit collected by the demon lords. Using those ancient yuanguo fragments and countless precious treasures, he tried to step out of that place in half a step. One step, although it is not a real breakthrough, but if he improves a little bit, his strength may skyrocket. At that time, even I can't stop the 567th Mazen. The first elder said. First elder, what are you going to do? Yi Tian asked. The first elder thought for a while, and then said, I hope you can go to a place and help me get something. Where? Yi Tian was puzzled. The Valley of Myths. Said the first elder, the Valley of Myths is a very special place, and it is very dangerous inside. Although I am sure of getting that thing, the first demon lord has been staring at me. If I enter the Valley of Myths, I can't get out of the room at all. Once I can't get out, the first demon will definitely invade the innate original domain alliance immediately and destroy the innate original domain alliance. Then set up a large formation at the entrance of the mythical valley to block me. So, I cannot enter the Valley of Myths. First elder, what do you want me to get from the Valley of Myths? Yi Tian asked again. Mythical golden grass. The first elder said. This resource is helpful for me to make a half-step breakthrough, but it is relatively difficult to obtain, and it is easy to fall. The body has also broken through. I guess you already have the strength of the top 10 veterans. Moreover, even if your avatar falls, the price of refining it should not be too high. If you take out the mythical golden grass, I will not treat you badly. Yi Tian thought about it carefully, and agreed. Chapter 2931 The Spirit of Myth. The reason why Yi Tian agreed to the first elder was naturally not because he wanted the first elder to break through, but because he needed a period of peace to develop. And once the first demon lord breaks through half a step, he really can't compete with his current strength. Even the sword of the heavens may not be able to withstand the attack of the first demon lord. Therefore, the swords of the heavens blocked the attack of the first demon, but he couldn't even think about going out. Right now, it is still necessary for the first elder to contend against the first demon. First elder, where is the Valley of Myths? Yi Tian asked. Although he is a veteran, he has never heard of the Valley of Myths. The first elder revealed, the Valley of Myths is located in a special space-time node. Because there are many opportunities inside it, but it is too dangerous, so I did not announce it. At present, only a few elders know about it. I am also worried that some elders will enter without authorization. Then you will surely die. Soon, the first elder informed the specific location. Then, he took out 3 more innate treasures. Yi Tian, these are 3 defensive innate treasures, reserved for you to save your life. First elder, then I will not be polite. Yi Tian received these 3 innate treasures. He would not despise such things as innate treasures. If the first elder gave it to him, he would take it too. Moreover, the first Yuan has a long history, and he does not know how many innate original treasures he has accumulated, and he has no descendants, so taking out 3 innate original treasures is nothing to him at all. Subsequently, Yi Tian went to the Valley of Myths. After Yi Tian left, I hope Yi Tian can find a mythical golden grass, otherwise if the number 1 demon lord breaks through, he will definitely come to trouble me as soon as possible. The first elder murmured, Valley of Myths. Yi Tian traveled for a long time before arriving here. Break. The node of time and space was broken by Yi Tian, he escaped into it and saw the Valley of Myths. The Valley of Myths seems to be very small, but at the same time it seems to be boundless. A strange force is attracting him into it. According to the first elder, entering the Valley of Myths is easy, but getting out is difficult, and you must come out at a special time. In other words, if he enters the Valley of Myths, he still won't be able to get out for a long time. And this time is about 5 million Dao era. For the elders, the 5 million Supreme Dao era is not very long, but the first elder dare not leave for a moment, otherwise it will be very dangerous. Wow, Yi Tian escaped directly into the Valley of Mythology. Inside the Valley of Myths, Yi Tian sensed the oppression of this world at the first moment, as if his bones were about to be crushed. It took him a while to get used to it. It's such a terrifying suppression of heaven and earth, it is indeed a treasure land that even the top veterans dare not enter. Yi Tian murmured. As early as the first time he came in, he used the copy talent to explore the surrounding area. According to the first elder, no elder has come in for a long time, and the information here is still known in the past. According to past data, there are a small number of mythical creatures in the Valley of Myths, all of whom have lived for endless years, and their strength is terrifying, comparable to top veterans. But in the Valley of Myths, what is truly terrifying is the spirit of myths. The upgraded version of the mythical spirit stone, the legendary spirit, is very powerful, but the mythical spirit is also restricted by the mythical valley, and can only stay in one place and cannot leave too far. The mythical golden grass is actually a special kind of mythical spirit, and there must be a mythical spirit around it. Some mythical spirits may even be comparable to the first elder, and there may be mythical spirits stronger than the first elder. These are all possible things. Certainly, if you are lucky, you will encounter a weaker mythical spirit, and Yi Tian has the hope to kill it. And the first elder asked Yi Tian to try. Once he encountered a powerful mythical spirit, he would run away immediately, and only when he encountered a weaker mythical spirit, did he go to see if there was a mythical golden minister there. However, the mythical golden grass is very rare, and the first elder is not sure if there is any mythical golden grass here. He only came in once before a very ancient time, but he didn't get the mythical golden herb. Now, in this era, he and the number 1 demon lord restrain each other, and no one dares to enter the Valley of Myths. During the period, they also sent Ma Zhen and Yuan Lao to come in, but they all fell, and there was no Ma Zhen and Yuan Lao coming in after them. If it wasn't for the possibility of a half-step breakthrough by the number 1 demon this time, the number 1 old man wouldn't let Yi Tian in. Myth Valley has a lot of resources, maybe I can get amazing treasures and resources so that my strength will skyrocket. Yi Tian secretly looked forward to it. Immediately, he began to condense his second duplicate body, and the third duplicate body. The Valley of Myths is so dangerous, it's normal for duplicate bodies to fall, so he naturally wants to make more duplicate bodies to find the mythical golden grass again and again. Soon, Yi Tian led a copy of his body to explore. Boom! A mythical creature appeared, and it looked like a tiger mythical creature. Open black lens bracket mythical Xuanyu close black lens bracket. The strength of this mythical creature is terrifying. Its cultivation is comparable to that of the peak of the mythical Tao realm, and its physical body is also very strong. In terms of strength, it is absolutely comparable to the top 36 veterans. Just after entering the Valley of Myths, I met a mythical creature comparable to 36 elders. No wonder the first elder won't let other elders in. Whoever enters will die. Boom! This mythical black tiger attacked Yi Tian, and the terrifying power of the mythical body erupted. Coupled with the power of the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules, the opponent's blow was enough to instantly kill a general second-level reflection. However, to Yi Tian, this mythical black tiger is nothing. The eternal sequence Nuo Li's lists the Supreme Tao rules. Yi Tian held a long spear and pierced through this mythical black tiger with one blow, and the eternal sequence Supreme Tao rule broke out, directly destroying its body and shattering its vitality. In the blink of an eye, this mythical black tiger fell. My current strength can instantly kill top veterans at the level of the 35th veteran. Yi Tian murmured. Then, he put away the body of the mythical black tiger. A mythical level creature corpse of this level is also of some value. Immediately, he continued to move forward without encountering a mythical creature, but soon after, he broke into the territory of a mythical spirit. Buzz! A crisis was born, and he was targeted. It's the spirit of myth. Yi Tian secretly said quality. A golden human-shaped phantom emerged, somewhat similar to the legendary spirit, but far more terrifying than the legendary spirit. This is a real mythical spirit. Chapter 2932 The Fifth Transformation of the Mythical Body. The aura of this mythical spirit was so terrifying that Yi Tian trembled all over. Escape. He fled quickly, but the palm of the mythical spirit leapt over, smashing Yi Tian's defensive supernatural powers formed by the eternal sequence of supreme principles, and then pressed on his arm, directly annihilating half of him body. However, he escaped fast enough and this duplicate body did not fall, only half of it disappeared and was in a severely injured state. The mythical spirit couldn't leave his territory, and didn't continue to chase and kill Yi Tian. With such a mythical spirit, it is estimated that except for the first elder, the other elders will not be opponents, and they will not even be able to escape. Yi Tian murmured. Immediately, he changed to a duplicate body and continued to explore. However, the mythical spirits here are extremely terrifying. The mythical spirit he encountered once was directly bombarded and killed by the other party, and it was too late to escape. I thought my strength was terrifying, but I didn't expect that there is still a huge gap. Yi Tian murmured. As time goes by, Yi Tian can occasionally find good things in the Valley of Myths, and then send the resources to one of the cloned bodies. This day, Yi Tian also found a high-quality first sequence Supreme Rule item, which can get rid of the side effects only by using some treasures. This item of the first sequence of Supreme Tao rules can be used by star 847. Yi Tian secretly thought. Finally this day, Yi Tian encountered a mythical spirit whose strength was not too strong, not as strong as him, and he hoped to kill it. This mythical spirit stone has a snake-tailed human body and is also covered in gold. Yi Tian's two duplicate bodies besieged the mythical spirit and started a big battle. Boom! Under the constant fighting, this mythical spirit was finally beheaded by Yi Tian. The spirits of mythology here are very powerful. If I don't master the rules of the eternal sequence, I am no match at all. The first elder probably underestimated the strength of these spirits of mythology. There is a high probability that 2 long years have passed. The mythology here the spirits are much stronger than in the past, the intelligence of the first elder made a mistake. Yi Tian thought to himself. Asterisk 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 asterisk. After beheading this mythical spirit, Yi Tian searched for treasures in the lair and territory of this mythical spirit. As a result, a lot of treasure resources were indeed found. A lot of good stuff. Yi Tian was very excited. All kinds of resources were collected by him, and he also found the first series of items of the rule of the law. The number AHAC reached more than 30 pieces, 6 pieces of innate treasures, and various precious items and so on. Harvest. Yi Tian directly occupied the lair of this mythical spirit. In addition, he also discovered a mythical spiritual object, a crimson vine. He didn't have the eye of appraisal, so he couldn't identify this mythical spiritual creature, but even the legendary spiritual creature can keep a legend to the Tao realm and break through to the mythic supreme Tao realm. The value of this mythical spiritual creature will only be higher. When you go out next time, take it out for appraisal, and you will know the specific function. Yi Tian thought to himself. Of course, he can also let other duplicate bodies send in the appraisal eye, but Myth Valley is dangerous after all, and any crisis may arise, and he doesn't want to lose the appraisal eye, even if it is a little risk. In short, he can go out after 5 million Dao era. There is no need to take risks, just wait a few more years. One of Yi Tian's duplicated bodies stayed in the mythical spirit's lair, and the other duplicated bodies went to explore, and once they found something good, they would send it back. As time went by, Yi Tian found a lot of good things, but he still didn't find the mythical treasure. However, he still has a lot of time and is not in a hurry. Another period of time passed. This day, Yi Tian discovered another mythical spirit territory that was stronger than him but not too powerful. He used 2 duplicate bodies to hold the other party back, and the other duplicated body to collect and search for resources. He also harvested some resources and innate treasures. Of course, he left as soon as he got the resources. Relying on this method, he collected a lot of items of the first sequence of the rules of the law, and obtained 6 high-quality items of the first sequence of the rules of the law, and found 100 items of the low-quality first sequence of the rules of the law. There are many pieces. Just take your time like this, maybe you can collect a large number of items of the first sequence of Supreme Law, and after going out, you can use the Eternal Rule Disk to fuse into multiple eternal sequence of Supreme Law items. As soon as he thinks that he can get multiple items of the Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rule, he can comprehend the Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rule, and his realm will continue to improve. A day after many years. As usual, Yi Tian sneaked into a territory of mythical spirits, 2 duplicate bodies dragged each other, and he entered the opponent's lair. Suddenly, a touch of golden grass rooted in the void attracted Yi Tian's attention. Mythical creature, mythical golden grass. He dared to be 100% sure that this was the mythical golden herb that the first elder needed, and it could help him complete a half-step breakthrough. Yi Tian immediately picked this mythical golden grass, took away other resources, and then ran away quickly. Afterwards, he sent the mythical golden herb back to another cloned body. The task is completed, and then you just need to wait for the time to come and go out. Yi Tian secretly thought. After, he doesn't need to look for the mythical golden herb, just look for resources, and he will collect the resources that can be useful to him. Myth Valley has too many resources, but there are also many dangers. Yi Tian spent a long time like this. And during this period of time, he was also cultivating in the Valley of Myths, using the resources in the Valley of Myths to improve his cultivation, but there was no legendary blood treasure to help refine the resources, and his cultivation speed was not as good as that of the outside world. Before he knew it, he entered the Valley of Myths and it was almost 5 million years old. At this time, Yi Tian's mythical body has completed its 5th transformation, and its strength has skyrocketed again. Then, Yi Tian changed his duplicate body again. Ha 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 ha, the body has completed the 5th transformation, and its strength has skyrocketed. Some mythical spirits could be killed before, but they can't be killed now. I can sneak into their territory and steal their resources. Yi Tian said excitedly. And he is also preparing to let a duplicate body go out, and the special period of the Valley of Hard Demon Myth is coming soon. Another period of time passed. The Myth Valley vibrated, and a golden aurora appeared in the void. It's now. Yi Tian followed the golden aurora and rushed out of the Valley of Mythology. Boom! The Eternal Sequence Supreme Law protected his whole body, then tore apart the barrier, successfully left the Valley of Myths, and returned to the virtual realm. Chapter 2933 The First Demon Lord is here. The headquarters of the Congenital Origin Alliance, the Hall of Elders. A duplicate body of Yi Tian came here, only with the mythical golden grass, as for other treasure resources were brought into the human domain. It's not that he doesn't worry about the first elder, but it's still necessary to be cautious. The first elder learned that Yi Tian was back, and immediately appeared. Elder Yi Tian, have you found the mythical golden herb? The first elder asked in a tone of great anticipation. Fortunately, I found a plant, but I also paid a lot of clones. Yi Tian said. There is no falsehood in his words, he has indeed lost a lot of duplicate bodies. Immediately, Yi Tian took out that mythical golden grass. When the first elder saw it, he was extremely excited. It is indeed a mythical golden herb. The first elder did not go to get the mythical golden herb immediately, but after some thanks, he took the mythical golden herb and took out a good thing. Old man Yi Tian, this is the eternal essence, just one drop can elevate your cultivation to the peak of the mythical realm. The first elder said, eternal essence, one drop can raise your cultivation to the peak of the mythical realm. Yi Tian was surprised. This is indeed a good thing, and it can save him countless years of penance. The first elder is indeed the most powerful elder of the Congenital Origin Alliance, and also the oldest elder. There are so many good things. First elder, then I will not be polite. Yi Tian received the eternal essence. Subsequently, Yi Tian left the Yuanlao Palace and returned to the human realm. And the first elder also announced the retreat. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Human domain. Yi Tian took out this drop of eternal essence, first appraised it with the eye of appraisal, and after confirming that it was correct, he swallowed it and refined it to improve his cultivation. In addition, Yi Tian is also using the eye of appraisal to appraise other resources found from the Valley of Myths, such as those mythical spirits and so on. For example, he directly identified the Crimson Vine. Mythical Xuantang, after the cultivation base reaches the peak of the mythical realm, and after the mythical body reaches 9 transformations, it can be directly ground into powder and taken for refining, which can assist the body to become eternal and Taoist. Eternal to morality, what is this? Yi Tian doesn't know, but it's definitely what the first elder and the first demon venerable must do, which is the so-called semi-breakthrough. Subsequently, he took out the second mythical spiritual object and continued to be firm. Mythical Qilin flower, can be used to improve the transformation of the mythical body, can be used to improve cultivation. In addition to these mythical spirits, he also identified all those innate treasures one by one, and there are many good things among them. In particular, one of the Shantian original treasures is especially valued by Yi Tian. The blood-dropping stone of the original treasure of Shantian can allow those who have attained the Tao realm of mythology and those with a lower cultivation base to melt into a drop of blood, drop it into it, and after falling, the blood-dropping stone of the original treasure of Shantian can revive it. This ability is passive, no need to research. Good thing, this blood-drop stone is too important. Yi Tian said excitedly. Soon, he called his son Yi Xingchen to him, and took out the blood-dropping stone. Xingchen, this innate treasure is for you, it's called the blood-dropping stone. You blend a drop of your blood essence into it, and put it in the human race temple. Once you fall outside, you can use the power of the blood-drop stone to be resurrected here. The innate treasure that can help resurrection. Yi Xingchen was shocked. Father, you should use it yourself. Yi Xingchen said. Yi Tian smiled and said, your father and I have multiple clones, although they can kill me. Take it. Seeing this, Yi Xingchen accepted it. Immediately, Yi Tian gave Yi Xingchen a few petals of the mythical Qilin flower. This is the petal of the mythical Qilin flower, which can help you improve your cultivation and improve your mythical body. Thank you, father, Yi Xingchen said happily. Subsequently, Yi Xingchen took the petals of the mythical Qilin flower and went to retreat to practice. After, Yi Tian also distributed the petals of the mythical Qilin flower to his wife and daughter, enough to raise their cultivation to the peak of the mythical Tao realm, and complete their transformations over and over again. The years that followed, Yi Xingchen, Yi Xingyu, and Xiao Yu, their cultivation bases continued to skyrocket, their mythical bodies completed transformations time after time, and their strength was rapidly improving. And Yi Tian also used the eternal essence to successfully raise his cultivation to the peak of the mythical realm. Moreover, with the help of the remaining mythical Qilin flower and other resources, he completed the 6th transformation of his Xian mythical body. 0. Seeking flowers. At this time, his strength skyrocketed again, and he was able to find more good things in the Valley of Myths and kill more mythical spirits. Gradually, Yi Tian got more and more good things. In addition, with the help of the Eternal Rule Disc, Yi Tian fused a large number of First Sequence Supreme Rule items into low-quality Eternal Sequence Supreme Rule items. With these items of the Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rule, he can quickly improve his Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rule. As the years passed, another long time passed. Yi Tian's Eternal Sequence to Tao Rule gradually increased to the 10% realm, and then to the 20% realm. The next time Myth Valley will come out is after 18 million epochs. Once it comes out next time, my strength will usher in another transformation. Yi Tian murmured. 0. At the same time, he is also paying attention to the situation of the first elder and the first demon. He owns a deduction-like congenital original treasure, Wan Yan Pan, which can deduce the general situation of the first demon king. If the first demon king comes out of the customs, he will know it immediately. This day, the first demon lord has left the barrier, and is heading towards the innate origin realm at an extremely fast speed. It seems that the first demon lord has made a half-step breakthrough. I don't know if the first elder has made a breakthrough. Yi Tian passed the news to the first elder. If the first elder couldn't stop him, he had to block the first demon. With his current strength, he felt that he should not be weaker than the first elder, but he had to fight a game to find out who was stronger. But he shot with multiple copies of his body. Even if he faced the first demon lord, he was not afraid. But there is no need for him to reveal his strength now, unless it is a last resort. Hall of Elders. The first elder received the news of the first demon, and also deduced it to confirm that the first demon had indeed come. Eternal to Tao has improved a bit, even if he is not the opponent of the first demon lord, but he can't kill me if he wants to kill me. The first elder murmured, somewhere in the imaginary domain. The first demon was constantly shuttling, when suddenly the first elder appeared and stopped him. Mogu, what are you doing here? The first elder asked. Chapter 2934 Mythical Blood Bones. Yuan, what do you think I'm here for? The first devil is very crazy at the moment, exuding crazy killing intent all over his body. He wanted to kill the first elder, destroy the entire innate origin alliance, and kill all his enemies. He didn't want the congenital origin alliance to produce an enemy that could threaten him in the future. Boom, the first demon lord killed the first elder, and each of them had superimposed multiple mythical bodies. In an instant, the two sides collided. With just one move, the first elder was sent flying and his whole body was cracked, but an innate original treasure allowed him to recover quickly from his injuries. At this time, the first elder also started to work hard, which also brought a little trouble to the first demon. Yuan, you actually completed 30% of the transformation of eternity to Taoism, breaking the realm hall. The first demon was surprised. 037. It's just a lucky breakthrough. The first elder said. My foundation is not as good as yours, and the realm of the eternal sequence is not as good as yours, but I also have a trump card. If I really work hard, I can still hit you hard. Moreover, this is the territory of my innate original domain alliance, even if you can kill me at a heavy price, you may not be able to escape. Now, elders have already spied here secretly, and the first demon frowned slightly. If the first elder hadn't made a breakthrough, he could kill the first elder without any injuries, and he didn't need to pay too much. Even if all the elders of the innate origin alliance besieged him, he could kill them all. But now it doesn't work, it's too risky. After thinking deeply, the first demon venerable snorted coldly, turned and left. After the first demon lord left, the first elder was relieved. Fortunately, Elder Yi Tian brought back the mythical golden grass, and I managed to break through again, otherwise this time it would be really dangerous. The first elder said. However, the gap between his strength and the no. One demon venerable this time is even greater, and the gap may become wider and wider in the future, until the no. One demon venerable will far surpass him. I can only count on Yi Tian, and hope that he can upgrade the mythical Xeon body to the 9th transformation, plus all his avatars, together with me, can still suppress the first demon. The first elder secretly said. However, he didn't even know that Yi Tian had comprehended the eternal sequence supreme law. Human domain. Yi Tian spied on the battle between the first demon lord and the first elder through the Shantian Yuanbao. The strength of the first elder is far behind that of the first demon. Yi Tian frowned. However, he admitted that he underestimated the first blog before. The first demon lord has the strongest bloodline, which is equivalent to walking the path of the strongest to the Tao, and he has superimposed 11 kinds of the strongest mythical body, and all of them have been cultivated to 9 transformations, and they have also begun to become eternal and Taoized. In terms of physical strength, the no. One demon venerable far surpassed him. But the realm of the first demon lord's eternal sequence to Tao rule is only 10% realm, which is lower than his realm. However, in terms of overall strength, he is far behind. Even, there is still a big gap between him and the first elder. Compared with the top 10 veterans, they are not at the same level at all. However, his strength is not far behind the first elder. Moreover, his eternal sequence supreme Tao rule is still improving, and it is only a matter of time before he surpasses the first elder in the future. The threat of the first demon lord has been removed for the time being, but the Shantianyuan or the alliance will definitely not attack again in the future. Yi Tian has been cultivating his Xeon mythical body. He has now reached the peak of the mythical realm. Only the Xeon mythical body has not yet been upgraded. Naturally, he must work hard to improve and strive to complete the 7th transformation. Time flies. With the help of legendary blood treasure and many resources, Yi Tian's Xeon mythical body has made rapid progress. Before you know it, another few million years of the Tao era have passed. This day, Yi Tian's dragon-scale mythical body finally transformed again, completed the 7th transformation, and his strength increased by a bit. After that, his other mythical bodies also completed the 7th transformation, and this breakthrough almost exhausted all the top-level resources he collected, and countless ordinary resources were also consumed. It has to be said that the 18 Xeon mythical bodies are too resource-intensive. This is still assisted by the legendary blood treasure, otherwise it would be impossible. Valley of Myths. Yi Tian changed all the duplicated bodies, and his strength changed, so he can find trouble with those mythical spirits that he couldn't deal with in the past. And he collected a batch of resources back, including a large number of items of the first sequence of supreme principles and innate original treasures. Wait for a few million more years, and then I can go out again. With these resources, I should be able to complete 9 transformations of the Xeon mythical body, and then go to the eternal Tao. Yi Tian murmured. Before you know it, another few million years of the Tao era have passed. This day, Yi Tian has successfully come out from the Valley of Myths. Of course, he still has a copy of his body to stay in the Valley of Myth and continue to collect resources. Back to human domain, Yi Tian was very excited. He got too many resources and treasures this time. Human domain. Yi Tian is back. Immediately, he used the appraisal eye to appraise all the treasures he had obtained. After the appraisal, he became even more excited. There were too many good things. In the years to come, my strength will definitely improve by leaps and bounds. Yi Tian said excitedly. Moreover, he is sure to raise his wife and children to the limit of the mythical realm, and enhance their foundations, and even superimpose the mythical body. Under normal circumstances, after breaking through to the Tao realm of mythology, the body of mythology cannot be superimposed. But some innate original treasures can allow them to superimpose mythical bodies. For example, Yi Tian has such an innate treasure in his hand. Congenital 2.6 treasure mythical blood bones, integrated into the body, implanted with mythical blood, cultivated into the second door in even more mythical bodies, the limit is 9. In other words, this mythical blood bone can superimpose 9 kinds of mythical bodies in the mythical realm. The first demon Venerable superimposed 11 kinds of powerful mythical bodies, presumably because he obtained a better innate original treasure, which made it possible to do so. And the mythical blood bones are also very good. It seems that even the first Yuan duo is only 9 kinds of mythical bodies. Soon, he called his wife to him. His wife was not on the path of being the most powerful in the Tao. First, he asked his wife to stack a pile of top mythical bodies. The body of myth. UAA, this is a mythical blood bone. Yi Tian talked about the role of mythical blood bones, and Xiao Yu was extremely shocked. Chapter 2935 Mysterious Jade Plate, Huge Harvest. They have all broken through and become the mythical realm, and they can also superimpose the body of mythology. While Xiao Yu was shocked, she humbly said, Husband, give the bones of the myth to the stars first. UAA, wait for Xingqian's most powerful mythical body to complete the 9th transformation, and then let him practice with the help of mythical blood bones. You are cultivating a top-notch mythical body, and it is easier to cultivate. You can use it first. Yi Tian said. Under Yi Tian's persuasion, Xiao Yu accepted the innate original treasure of mythical blood bone. After that, Yi Tian also took out various resources to train his wife, trying to let her cultivate the mythical body to 9 transformations as soon as possible, and add more top-notch mythical bodies again and again. And at this time, the mythical creatures he killed in the Valley of Mythology will be useful. Yi Tian took out the mythical blood from them and gave it to his wife. With the help of mythical blood bones, the wife does not need to start training from the legendary body, but can directly start to practice from the mythical body, saving a long time of hard work. And Yi Tian is also working hard to improve his own strength. He uses the Eternal Rule 07 to fuse low-quality Eternal Sequence to Tao Rule items. Used it up to improve my mythical body. Under such circumstances, it won't take too long for Yi Tian to complete the 8th transformation of the mythical body. At that time, his strength will be in 3 million years after the Tao era. With the help of the low-quality Eternal Sequence Supreme Rule items fused from the Eternal Rule Disc, Yi Tian constantly comprehends the Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rule, and now has raised the Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rule to 30% realm. When he runs out of those Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rule items, there is a high probability that the Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rule can be raised to 50% realm. The mythical body is about to complete its 8th transformation. Yi Tian estimated. Another period of time passed. Boom. The dragon scale mythical body took the lead in completing the 8th transformation, and then the other mythical bodies also completed the 8th transformation one by one, and the strength of the whole person skyrocketed. My current strength is too strong. The first elder should no longer be my opponent, but I'm still not as good as the first demon. Yi Tian murmured. The first demon can easily hurt the first elder, but the first elder has a lot of innate treasures, including the innate original treasure that can instantly repair injuries, and there are many trump cards that can hurt the first demon. In fact, the strength of the first elder itself was not enough in the eyes of the first demon Venerable. It's been the 8th transformation, and if I transform again, it will be the 9th transformation, and I will reach the limit of the mythical realm. Yi Tian murmured. He continued to practice, and at the same time, he continued to comprehend the rules of the eternal sequence. In addition, he has also created a series of supernatural powers of the eternal sequence to the Tao, which can maximize the power of the rules of the eternal sequence to the Tao. Valley of Myths. Yi Tian stared at the territory of a mythical spirit. The strength of this mythical spirit was much more terrifying than that of the first demon lord. Even now, he would hold on for a while at most. The reason why he stared at this mythical spirit was because he saw something good after breaking in. That is the load of low-quality first-order supreme rule items. It is a special kind of yellow stone, which is the first sequence of the rule of law items, but it has formed veins, and it is estimated that there are several thousand pieces of that yellow stone. So, Yi Tian really wants to snatch this mine vein. If he snatches it, he will make a lot of money. Send in the Shantian Yuanbao Xuanyu plate. Yi Tian decided. He obtained the Xuanyu pan from the Valley of Myths and brought it out. After appraising it, he learned that the Xuanyu pan had the same effect as the sword pan of the heavens, and could form a formation. Yi Tian is going to use the black jade plate to form a formation, trap the mythical spirit for a while, and buy enough time for himself to snatch the first sequence of supreme Tao rule items and other resources and so on. Certainly, if you do this, the Xuanyu pan must be useless, and you may even lose 1 or 2 duplicate bodies, but it is worth it. This day, a duplicate body of Yi Tian entered the Valley of Myths again, and sent the Xuanyu plate into it. And he has already researched the formation ability of the Xuanyu pan, and he can use it directly. Inside the Valley of Myths, Yi Tian brought the mysterious jade plate to the territory of the mythical spirit. Boom! A mythical spirit with an incomparably huge body descended and grabbed Yi Tian with one hand. Mysterious jade plate, mysterious jade formation. Boom! The 3 duplicated bodies activated the Xuanyu pan to trap this mythical servant. Immediately afterwards, another duplicate body broke into the territory of the mythical spirit, and began to seize the first series of stones of the rule of the law. This is the first series of supreme Tao rule items, which is of great help to him. Boom! Yi Tian opened the opponent's lair and dug out those yellow stones. At the same time, he also took away other resources, such as Shantian Yuanbao, without leaving any of them. Hurry up! Yi Tian kept smashing the lair, and found the yellow stone hidden in the depths. As time went by, this first sequence of supreme Tao items gradually fell into Yi Tian's hands. Gradually, Yi Tian gained more and more. In the end, Yi Tian was shaved clean. Walk! His duplicate body escaped, and the Xuanyu formation formed by the Xuanyu plate couldn't bear it anymore. Click! The Xuanyu formation shattered, and the Xuanyu plate also shattered. Immediately afterwards, the mythical spirit became angry, and with a move full of killing intent, it directly killed a copy of Yi Tian's body. The other 2 duplicated bodies erupted, injuring the mythical spirit, but they were still pierced through their bodies with their backhands, and they all fell in a short while. It has to be said that this mythical spirit is too terrifying. After the eruption, even if the first demon lord came, he might not be able to hold it back. But Yi Tian's 4th copy body has already escaped, left its territory, and it can't hunt down anymore. Successful, this time the harvest is great. Yi Tian said excitedly. If such an opportunity comes a few more times, there may be hope in the future to comprehend the eternal sequence to the Tao rule to a 100% perfect state. After all, there are so many first sequence supreme Tao rule items, how many eternal sequence supreme Tao rule items have to be fused? Before you know it, only a few million have passed after the Tao Ji. At this time, Yi Tian was getting closer and closer to the 9th transformation, and he became extremely excited. Chapter 2936 Preliminary Eternalization. Another period of time has passed. Yi Tian's 9th transformation finally ushered in. Boom! The dragon scale mythical body has completely completed the 9th transformation, reaching the limit of the mythical body transformation, and this mythical body can no longer continue to improve. Then, the other mythical bodies also completed the 9th transformation. After a period of time, all 18 of his most powerful mythical bodies have completed their 9th transformation, and their strength has skyrocketed. His cultivation has reached the peak of the mythical realm, and the body of 18 kinds of super myths has reached the 9th transformation. He has reached the extreme of the mythical realm. With my current strength, I may not be weaker than the number 1 demon lord. Yi Tian murmured. However, he didn't carry out the eternity to Taoization immediately, he was going to ask the first elder for advice. The first elder has already undergone eternal to Tao transformation, so he naturally needs to ask for more advice, and only after he understands thoroughly will he practice. Hall of Elders. Yi Tian came here to meet the first elder. Yi Tian, why are you looking for me? Asked the first patriarch. Yi Tian cut to the chase and said, First elder, I would like to ask you how to go from mythology to Taoism. I only know how to go from eternity to Taoism, and I don't understand anything else. The first elder asked suspiciously, Why are you asking this now? Could it be that you have reached the limit of the mythical realm, and all the mythical bodies have completed the 9th transformation? Boom! Yi Tian showed the aura of the 9th transformation of 18 kinds of mythical bodies, and the terrifying aura made even the first elder shake. In his eyes, Yi Tian is not even weaker than him. Okay, great. The first elder was not jealous, but excited. With Yi Tian's assistance, he won't be afraid of the number 1 demon lord. However, he quickly calmed down and introduced to Yi Tian, after the myth reaches the Tao realm, the eternity reaches the Tao realm. After comprehending the rules of the eternal sequence to the Tao, 100% of the body is eternal to the Tao realm. It meets the breakthrough conditions, but it is extremely difficult to really break through. Guyuan fruit is the only treasure that can quickly complete the transformation of eternity in Taoism. At the beginning, the first demon king wanted to seize Guyuan fruit. Once he succeeded, he would be able to complete the whole body within tens of millions of Taoism era 1 eternal to Tao transformation. Even if there is no success in impacting the eternal to Tao realm, the strength is far beyond our thoughts. I see. Yi Tian understood a little. Immediately, he asked again, I am taking the path of being the strongest in the Tao, and I have superimposed 18 kinds of mythical bodies of the strongest. If I want to become eternal in Tao, will there be any difference? If you want to talk about the difference, it is more difficult, but every time you complete 10% eternal to Tao, your strength will increase a little more. The first demon and I have 30% eternal to Tao, but his strength is stronger than mine. It's too powerful. If I didn't rely on many innate treasures that increase my strength, I wouldn't be able to hold on to 10 moves. The first elder said. After talking with the first elder for a long time, Yi Tian knew that there are 3 difficulties in eternity to Taoism. The first difficulty is to start the transformation from eternity to Taoism. The top 10 elders in the Alliance of Innate Origins have all reached the extreme of mythology to Taoism, but they just cannot carry out the transformation into eternal road. The second difficulty is that 30% of eternity reaches Taoization, which is a small bottleneck. The first demon venerable and the first elder had been stuck in this step for endless years, and only recently broke through. The third difficulty is 70% eternal to Tao. Once it crosses 70% eternal to Tao, it can be raised to 100% eternal to Tao. Of course, 100% eternity to Tao and eternal sequence to Tao rule are just the conditions for impacting the eternal to Tao realm, but they may not be able to break through, and the success rate of breakthrough is very low. First elder, how do you know the following realm? Could it be that there is the realm of eternal abandonment in the void realm? Yi Tian asked. The first elder said, maybe there is an eternal supreme Tao realm, or maybe there is not. In fact, the first demon venerable and I are enlightened by a mysterious eternal supreme Tao realm. The first demon venerable Mogu is actually the same body. The magic vine, after being enlightened by the mysterious eternal supreme Tao realm, turned into the first supreme Tao void demon. In fact, my body is the innate original domain boundary stone, which was enlightened by the other party to become a living being, so I will protect you innate original domain. It turned out to be like this. Yi Tian was shocked. The first elder said again, after the mysterious eternal supreme Tao realm enlightened us, he left some inheritance information. Perhaps, we can only understand the real truth after we break through to the eternal supreme Tao realm. Of course, during these endless years, I have also guessed that the ancient abyss world should have some connection with the place where the mysterious and eternal Tao realm is located, but unfortunately we cannot go to that place through the ancient abyss world. Second, the Valley of Mythology, this place is very special. There may be secrets inside, but at the core of the Valley of Myths, there is an incomparably terrifying mythical spirit, which may rival the eternal Tao realm. Perhaps the truth is hidden there. Yi Tian also knew the mythical spirit in the middle of the Valley of Myths. He had been there, and the other party killed him with a single look. Therefore, he never went there again, because the gap in strength was too great, and he didn't even have the qualifications to hold back the opponent. After discussing with the first elder for a long time, Yi Tian returned to the human realm. He began to prepare for the transformation from eternity to Taoism. Of course, if he relied on himself, he would definitely not be able to carry out the transformation from eternity to Taoism. However, there are many mythical spirits on him that help eternity to Taoism. Yi Tian took out a mythical spiritual item, mythical mystic vine, and he swallowed it after grinding the mythical vine into powder, and used it to refine his body and transform it into eternal Taoism. Moreover, he also practiced with the help of Shen Chongzu and various innate treasures that are helpful for cultivation. Although the effects of these innate treasures are not very good, at least they can increase the speed of cultivation. Time passed slowly, and a mythical mysterious vine was about to be consumed. This Wang Jiao Jiao day! Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. Yi Tian's body finally began to become immortal. In an instant, the 18 kinds of powerful mythical bodies he had trained began to fuse together as they progressed from eternity to Taoism, as if they were about to merge into an eternal mythical body. However, it is only a preliminary integration at present. After a long time, his body has completed a part of eternity in Taoism. Although it's just the beginning of eternal to Tao transformation, but he has a variety of mythical spirits on him, and the speed of progress will definitely be very fast. The years passed. Unknowingly, with the help of pieces of mythical spirits, Yi Tian's eternity has reached a 100% realm. At that time, his strength had far surpassed Yu in the past. The first demon lord should no longer be my opponent. Yi Tian estimated. After all, his current eternal sequence Supreme Tao rule has reached 50% realm. Chapter 2937 The second demon king breaks through, and the Supreme Tao virtual demon prepares to inv. Yi Tian's strength has skyrocketed, but he is still not an opponent of eternal Tao realm. He went to challenge the mythical spirit of the eternal to Tao realm in the Valley of Mythology, but he was still easily beheaded. Obviously, he is still far from the strength of the eternal Tao realm. However, he doesn't need to worry about the threat of the number 1 demon lord anymore. But except for the mythical spirit in the middle of the Valley of Myths, other mythical spirits are stronger than him, but they can't stop him. He can hold them back with a few copies of their bodies, thus robbing them of their treasure resources. In other words, Yi Tian can take away the resources of the entire Valley of Myths. With so many resources, not only can he be promoted to the extremely high process of eternity to Taoism, but even his relatives can also be promoted to the extremely high process of eternity to Taoism. However, it is still extremely difficult to reach the eternal Supreme Tao realm. The Supreme Tao Zumo, the lineage of Mogu. In the palace of the second devil. Now, the second Mazan, Maming, is at a critical moment. Once it is completed, it will enter the process of eternity in Taoism. With the passage of time, Moming's body gradually began to transform, from mythology to the peak of the Tao realm, and gradually began to become eternal and Taoized. Finally, boom, his body has already begun to transform into a realm of eternity to 557. Although it is only a beginning, he has finally broken through. Ha ha ha, Mo Ming, finally broke through and reached the realm of the number 1 demon lord. Mo Ming was very excited. Deep within the Mogu lineage, Mogu looked at Mo Ming. Mo Ming has really achieved the eternal to Taoist transformation. I didn't even give him any resources, so he did it. He was a little afraid of Mo Ming at the moment. Although Mo Ming was the first batch of Supreme Tao Void demons created by him using his own blood, he was regarded as his heir, but he had created a large number of Supreme Tao Void demons at the beginning, so naturally he had no feelings for them. Moreover, he also knew that Mo Ming and other demon venerables wanted to take his place and become the number 1 demon venerable, so as to control the massive resources of the Mogu lineage. However, as long as these demons don't resist him, he still won't kill them. Besides, Mo Ming's breakthrough at this time is also a good thing for him. Perhaps we can invade the Congenital Origin Alliance. Mogu thought. Now that Mo Ming has completed the transformation from eternity to Taoism, he can completely kill the other elders of the Shantian Origin Alliance, and then help him deal with the first elder. With the strength of the 2 demons, they are enough to kill the first elder. Even if the first elder is desperate, their injuries will not be too great. Whether it is him or the first elder, they hide some secrets. If the first elder is killed, perhaps with the help of the first elder's secrets, his strength will be further improved. Mo Ming, come here. The first Mazan Mogu sent a message to Mo Ming who had just broken through. Come on, Mo Ming is here. I have seen the first demon lord. Mo Ming said respectfully. Ma Ming, you have already completed the preliminary process of eternalization, congratulations. Mogu rode. Thank you for the cultivation of the first demon lord, otherwise I would not be able to reach this realm. Mo Ming's words were a bit hypocritical. But the Mogu didn't say anything. Momming, I am going to invade the Congenital Origin Alliance, what do you think? Mogu asked. Moming hurriedly said, it is true that we should invade the Congenital Origin Alliance. Their strength is much worse than ours. Even if we destroy them, we will suffer heavy losses, but as long as we destroy them, we can easily recover in the future. Moreover, we can integrate the resources of the imaginary domain, so as to cultivate and produce more demon kings, and even our own strength can go further. Okay, then mobilize the Demon Venerable, the Demon Lord and countless Supreme Tao demons to invade the Congenital Origin Alliance. Mogu decided, I will hold off the first elder first. You first assist the other demons to kill some elders, and then help me kill the first elder. Quote. Yes, very soon AHFJ Mogu's lineage mobilized other demon venerables and demon lords from the Supreme Tao Void demon lineage, gathered their forces, and prepared to invade the Congenital Origin Alliance. And such a large-scale invasion, the movement is too big. The veterans of the Congenital Origin Alliance have been paying attention to the movement of the Mogu, so they naturally noticed it. Immediately, the first elder notified the other elders to prepare for battle. Hall of Elders. When the elders come, those who don't have time to come will also be projected. Everyone, the Supreme Tao Void demon side is mobilizing their forces, and all of them are mobilizing, and there is a high possibility that they will invade our Congenital Origin Alliance. The first elder said. A small invasion, or a real invasion? Asked one of the elders. The first elder said, from the current point of view, it is a real all-round invasion, and the entire Supreme Tao virtual demon has been mobilized. Even the demon masters and demon masters who are in retreat have been forcibly summoned. Hearing this, many elders panicked. They really don't want to fight. After all, the Supreme Tao Void demon side is much stronger than them. Seeing that many elders panicked, the first elder quickly said, don't worry, everyone, we actually have the upper hand. We have the advantage. A group of veterans looked left and right. Where the advantage came from, why didn't they find it? At this time, the first elder looked at Yi Tian. Elder Yi Tian has reached my level, and his avatar can also display such combat power, which is equivalent to the combat power of several me. When the first elder said this, many elders were shocked. They looked at Yi Tian and wanted to ask if it was true. It's true, Yi Tian said. Once the war starts, I will kill those demons as soon as possible, and then assist the first elder to surround and kill the first demon. They breathed a sigh of relief when they got Yi Tian's reply. However, they didn't really trust them either. What if Yi Tian and the first elder bragged and made them work hard on purpose? It wasn't impossible. Let's prepare for the battle. Let the legendary and 9-layered Taoists below get ready and guard each fortress. The first elder ordered. Yes, many elders responded. Human domain. Yi Tian also notified some of the news. A large number of human races are guarding the fortresses outside the human domain. Even Yi Tian's wife and daughter have to guard them. All kinds of mythical bodies are extremely powerful. In addition, they also possess many innate treasures, and their strength is also close to the level of the top 36 veterans. In addition, several copies of Yi Tian's bodies are guarding here, so their safety will not be a problem. Chapter 2938 Kill the Second Demon Lord. Outside the human domain, at the No. 1 fortress. A duplicate body of Yi Tian sits here, and he knows that this time, the Congenital Origin Alliance will suffer a lot. Even if he is powerful and has multiple cloned bodies, he can kill all those demon lords, but there are too many void demons in the Supreme Tao, and it is impossible for him to kill them all in an instant, so many fortresses will inevitably be breached, and a large number of Taoist demons will be destroyed, slaughtered. He can't change this situation, he can only keep the human domain, and then kill as soon as possible. The Supreme Tao Void demon side collapses. Soon, the evil demons of the Supreme Tao invaded in a large scale, led by the first demon king, and assisted by many demons. The Supreme Tao Void demon has really invaded in an all-round way. Yi Tian murmured, it was just speculation before, and I dare not be 100% sure, but now I am 100% sure. All of a sudden, the formations of the fortresses were opened. Yi Tian and the others didn't intercept Tao Void demon in the void domain. In that case, if there is no support, it is easy to be trapped. After all, in terms of overall strength, the Congenital Origin Alliance is much worse than the Zidao Void demon. It is also impossible for Yi Tian to kill the entire Supreme Tao Void demon with his own power. Maybe there is a Shantian Yuanbao that can trap him for a short time. As time goes by, the side of Zidao Zumo is getting closer and closer to the side of the Congenital Origin Alliance. Finally, here they come. For the countless Supreme Tao realms of the Congenital Origin Alliance, this is definitely the greatest crisis in history. Even the legendary Supreme Tao realms may be just cannon fodder. The key to the outcome of the war is the veterans and demons. At this time, a group of void demons of the Supreme Tao came to human domain, and the leader was the second demon lord, Mo Ming. Zidao Zumo knows that Yi Tian has become the 35th veteran, and Yi Tian also has many avatars. The future threat is too great. So, the second demon lord decided to break through the human domain first. He felt that Yi Tian's body must stay in the human domain, and if he killed Yi Tian's body, those avatars would definitely dissipate, which is equivalent to killing many top veterans at once. But he was wrong. Every duplicated body of Yi Tian is the main body. Moreover, Yi Tian's strength is far beyond his imagination. The second demon lord, Mo Ming, the supreme Tao void demon side, really thinks highly of me. Yi Tian murmured. Swish. Yi Tian walked out from human domain No. 1 fortress, and directly killed Mo Ming. Mo Ming saw Yi Tian, and was about to make a move, when he suddenly discovered that Yi Tian's cultivation was not right. He had also reached Eternal to Tao, and the realm of Eternal to Tao was even higher than him. The key point is that Yi Tian has superimposed 18 kinds of Xeon mythical bodies, which means that these 8 kinds of Xeon mythical bodies have all reached the 9th transformation. Not good. Mo Ming's face changed drastically. At this moment, Yi Tian made a move. The eternal sequence Supreme Tao ruled into silk threads that penetrated through, and the densely packed Supreme Tao virtual demons were pierced and shattered in an instant, and even the top demon masters were instantly killed like ants. Mo Ming tried to resist, but Yi Tian held a long spear and cast an eternal sequence Supreme Tao magical power, rushing towards him. In an instant, the various innate treasures on Mo Ming's body turned into defensive rays, but they were still useless. Puff! These innate wish treasures were directly shattered, and Mo Ming's body was also pierced through, and the eternal sequence of supreme rules was destroying his body. Mo Ming felt incredible. This strength seemed to be even more terrifying than the first demon lord. Boom! Mo Ming's body turned into a corpse, floating in the void. Uaa, Xingchen, I have handed over these Supreme Tao virtual demons to you, and I will go to support other places. Yi Tian exhorted. It is good, Xiao Yu responded. She is a veteran, and here are some demon masters, 9-level Supreme Tao demons, and weaker Supreme Tao demons. With their strength, they can easily kill them all. And, Yi Tian also has a duplicate body guarding the human domain. If something happens, he can come out of the human domain. Soviet domain. Su Ho and Su Yuan are fighting against a demon lord. This demon lord is relatively powerful. Even Su Ho and Su Yuan can't suppress it together. Moreover, there are many demon masters who invaded the Su territory. If this continues, Su Yu may not be able to stop it. But the entire Congenital Origin Alliance is far behind in strength compared to the Supreme Tao Void Demon. Will it be able to support Su Yu at this time? Suddenly, a familiar figure appeared. It's the elder Yi Tian. The two elders, Su Ho and Su Yuan, were overjoyed how powerful Yi Tian was, and the first elder also said that Yi Tian's strength was comparable to him. Even if it wasn't true, it would be no problem to kill this demon lord. Oh, Yi Tian arrived and shot directly. With just one shot, the demon venerable was pierced through and smashed into pieces, and instantly fell to death like an ant. This scene shocked Su Ho and Su Yuan. What kind of strength is this, to instantly kill a powerful demon king? Elder Su He, Elder Su Yuan, it's settled here. You first slaughter the Supreme Tao demons here, and then go to support other places. Yi Tian said. It is good, Elder Su He and Elder Su Yuan responded. Subsequently, Yi Tian supported everywhere, and all the demons were killed by him. A ruin of the Congenital Origin Alliance is here. Just now the first demon lord broke through here and destroyed this innate original domain. And the first elder can only deal with him, dragging the first demon king. He is waiting for Yi Tian to arrive. The number of demons is more than 1/3 more than that of the elders, so Yi Tian needs to kill a group of demons before coming here to besiege the first elder with him. If not, Yi Tian would come directly to besiege the first demon lord, and the other elders would not be opponents at all, and would suffer heavy losses. This is also a countermeasure discussed in advance. With the passage of time, the number of demons continued to decrease, and the first demon was also a little panicked. He found that he couldn't contact the second demon king, Mo Ming. What's the matter with Mo Ming? Why didn't you reply me? The first Mazan Mogu frowned. Moreover, many demon lords could not be contacted, because the probability is that they have fallen. It has only been so long since the invasion, and it is too abnormal to lose so many demon lords. Unless the Congenital Origin Alliance hides a veteran with terrifying strength, maybe even no less than the first veteran, otherwise the demons will not suffer such heavy losses. It is undoubtedly too bad to retreat at this time. He can only put all his eggs in one basket, and he must kill the first elder first even if he tries hard to injure him. Boom! The first demon lord attacked the first elder frantically. Every time he attacked the first elder his whole body was torn apart, but he relied on the special Xiongkaiyuan treasure to save his life and recover again and again. But after a long time, the first elder couldn't bear it anymore. However, he still didn't use his whole card, because Yi Tian was going to come 9. Chapter 2939 Lord Qingyuan. Boom! The first demon, Mogu, blasted the first elder away with one blow, and shattered 1/10 of the first elder's body. This time, the recovery speed of the first elder was a bit slower. But the first senator laughed. Mogu, you are defeated. The first elder said, I lost. The Mogu wondered. Suddenly, figures appeared all around, and 6 Yi Tian appeared. These are all copies of Yi Tian's body, and they have all rushed over at this moment, and they have activated all kinds of innate treasures that block the void and suppress them, so that this place is blocked, so that the first demon king Mogu can't escape. Yi Tian. The Mogu recognized Yi Tian. He had also heard of it, but he didn't pay much attention to it. After all, Yi Tian was still very weak at that time, so what if he was the 35th veteran, he could kill with 710, with a wave of his hand. But now, Yi Tian's aura shocked him a little. Eternal to Tao. How did Yi Tian achieve eternal supreme Tao so quickly? Mogu finally understood why those Mazans were killed, why even Maming fell. It must be Yi Tian who killed them. 6 eternal to Daoized combat power, this is the confidence of the first veteran. Damn it, I should have killed you long ago. Mogu regrets it. But who would have expected that Yi Tian would be so monstrous, like an ant? No matter how powerful he is, there is no need to go all the way to kill him. As a result, the ant has grown to the point where it threatens itself. Boom! Yi Tian made a move, using the Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao rule of 50% realm. As soon as the rules of the Eternal Sequence came out, even the first elder's eyes widened. Yi Tian's Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao rule has reached at least 50% of the realm, and there are only a few items in the Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao rule in the Void realm, all of which were taken away by me and the first elder. Even if Yi Tian found it again one piece, it is impossible to comprehend the Eternal Sequence to 50% of the rules of the Eternal Sequence. How many items of the Eternal Sequence lane rules are needed for this? The first elder thought to himself. This is so unbelievable. He suspects that Yi Tian is not from the Void realm, but from a more terrifying world, otherwise there is no way to explain it. The first elder was shocked, while the first demon king Mogu was terrified. He found that he was no match for Yi Tian. 1 Yi Tian could hurt him, 6 Yi Tian besieged him together, and there was a first elder. He was afraid that he would really fall here this time. Boom! Yi Tian casted a series of Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao supernatural powers, and densely packed attacks bombarded the first demon, Mogu, making it difficult for the first demon to stop him. And the first elder on the side also attacked from time to time. Gradually, all the innate treasures on the first demon's body were scrapped, unable to withstand such an attack at all. Boom! One arm of the first demon lord was shattered, and it was injured by the eternal sequence of the 50% realm to the Tao rule, and it was difficult to recover for a while. Yi Tian, Yuan, let me go. I swear an oath that I will never violate the Congenital Origin Alliance. Mogu said. However, Yi Tian didn't have the slightest intention to stop. After a while, the first demon venerable was severely wounded and was about to be unable to hold on. At this time, a blood-colored scale appeared on the body of the first demon lord, and he aroused this blood-colored scale, and his whole body seemed to be wrapped by the blood-colored scale, and then it turned into blood and was about to escape. Facing such means, the forbidden zone formed by those congenital original treasures could not stop the number 1 demon lord. At this moment, the first elder made a move. I saw a drop of blood appearing on the body of the first elder. This is not special blood, but a treasure similar to blood, which belongs to the same grade as the bloody scales of the first demon. The blood turned into a sea of blood and trapped the first demon, making it impossible for the first demon to escape. Elder Yi Tian, kill him! Cried the first senator. Yi Tian was very surprised. The first demon and the first elder were hidden very deeply, and there are such treasures. Quote! Yi Tian fought desperately to kill the number 1 demon, and under constant attacks, the heavily injured number 1 demon gradually couldn't hold on. Yuan, let me go, or King Qingyuan will definitely punish you in the future. The first demon venerable roared. However, the first elder didn't pay any attention. Soon, the first demon lord turned into a corpse, and the blood-colored scales also became dull. First elder, what are these bloody scales, and what is going on with Lord Qingyuan? Yi Tian was very puzzled. The first elder said, Elder Yi Tian, let's kill the void demon of the Supreme Tao first, and then talk slowly. Okay, Yi Tian nodded. Subsequently, Yi Tian's 6 cloned bodies went around to support, killing 1 demon master and 1 demon master. In addition, a large number of veterans dispersed to intercept the fleeing Supreme Tao void demon in the void domain. This time, the congenital original realm alliance strives to destroy the void demons of the Supreme Tao. Even if a small number of void demons of the Supreme Tao escape, they will not be able to pose a threat to them. It is impossible to truly destroy them all. After all, the void demons of the Supreme Tao are already everywhere in the void territory, and Mogu has scattered his own blood and the blood of other void demons of the Supreme Tao to countless territories of the void territory, and will breed new void demons of the Supreme Tao every few years. Killing is endless. However, without the first demon venerable and other demon lords, it is almost difficult for those paramount virtual demons to grow up, and they cannot pose a threat to the innate original domain alliance, so there is nothing to fear. After a period of time, all the demon kings were killed, and none of them escaped. As for the other weak Supreme Tao void demons, it is left to those legendary Supreme Tao realm and 9th layer Supreme Tao realm to join forces. Yi Tian and the others will not do anything. Hall of Elders. Yi Tian and the first demon king came here. First elder, can we now talk about the bloody scale and King Qingyuan 2.1? Yi Tian asked. The first elder said, this bloody scale and my drop of blood treasure are actually things left by King Qingyuan, and they can be used as life-saving things. This bloody scale can allow the first demon to have an extremely terrifying escape. The power of the first demon can also make the first demon devour everything to practice, and the cultivation speed is very fast. This drop of my blood has the effect of killing with one blow. The first demon has always been afraid of this treasure, so he dare not kill it regardless me. In addition, this drop of my blood treasure also has a binding effect, which is the method I just used. What about King Qingyuan? Yi Tian asked. The first elder said, the Lord of Qingyuan is the mysterious and eternal Taoist who enlightened me and the first demon, and the other party calls himself the Lord of Qingyuan. Chapter 2940 The Eternal Sequence Supreme Tao Rules Complete. Really, Yi Tian also guessed that the Lord Qingyuan was the mysterious eternal realm mentioned by the first elder. After all, the first elder only knew this eternal Supreme Tao realm. Will Lord Qingyuan come to Void Domain again? Yi Tian asked. I don't know. The first elder shook his head. Maybe, maybe not, but such a long time has passed, and the Lord Qingyuan has never been here, so maybe he has forgotten us. It's just 2 ants, and it's not important. At the beginning, King Qingyuan came to Void Realm because he was seriously injured, so he healed his wounds in Void Realm, and at the same time enlightened 2 creatures to relieve him. The first demon was killed by Yi Tian, so the items of the first demon belonged to Yi Tian, so the first elder naturally didn't fight for it. Human domain. Yi Tian tried to refine the blood-colored scales, but the energy in the scales consumed a lot, and it would take at least a long time to recover, so it was useless in a short time. Subsequently, he sorted out the items of the first demon, and there are indeed many good things, even the items of the first series of Supreme Tao rules. These are the first series of Supreme Tao that the first demon has collected for a long time regular items. 07. It's just that these items of the first sequence of Supreme Principles are useless to him, so there is no. Today, these things belong to Yi Tian. After, a duplicate body of Yi Tian led a group of human legends to the Tao realm to go to the Mogu lineage, destroyed the Mogu lineage with other elders, and distributed the resources of the Mogu lineage for a long time. Then, long years passed. One side of the Congenital Origin Alliance keeps chasing and killing Tao Void demons in the Void Domain, and the major forces spread all over the Void Domain to build bases. Under the instruction of Yi Tian, the human race also built bases in various places in the imaginary domain. A large number of strong human races went deep into the imaginary domain, and even Yi Xingchen went to the depths of the imaginary domain. After all, without the threat of the Supreme Tao Void Demon, the major forces in the innate origin domain will naturally not be afraid. Before you know it, another long time has passed. Millions to after the Tao era. Yi Tian's duplicated body came out from the Valley of Myths again, and it really came out, leaving no duplicated body. After all, except for the mythical spirit in the middle, all other mythical spirits' territories were patronized by him, and all resources were taken away by him. Ha 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 ha, so many resources are enough to push my strength to the limit. Yi Tian secretly thought. In the days that followed, Yi Tian used various mythical spirits to enhance the eternal Tao, and used the eternal rule disk to fuse items of the eternal sequence to the Tao, and then used these items to comprehend the eternal sequence to the Tao, the eternal sequence supreme Tao rule. Gradually, Yi Tian's eternal sequence to Tao rule is constantly improving from the 50% realm to a higher realm. And his eternal to Taoization is also constantly improving, and the rate of progress can be many times faster than that of the first elder. The first elder belonged to the kind of character who dared not take risks. Even if the first demon king died, he still did not dare to take risks in the Valley of Myths. Obviously, he almost fell when he entered the Valley of Myths for the first time countless years ago. Therefore, the first elder is destined to be like this for the rest of his life, but this is also very good, at least there is no threat, the first elder has a relaxed life, and he can do whatever he wants. Years and years have passed, and Yi Tian's eternal to Tao transformation has reached more than 29%, and it is only one step away from 30%. Use mythical spirits to break through. Therefore, he easily raised eternity to Taoization to above the 30% realm. However, after reaching 30% realm from eternity to Taoism, the progress will be slower. Even if he has many mythological spirits, it is the same. However, the progress of Yi Tian's eternal sequence to Tao rule realm is not slow. Relying on pieces of eternal sequence to Tao rule items, Yi Tian's eternal sequence to Tao rule has made rapid progress, gradually rising from the 50% realm to the 60% realm, 70% realm, 80% realm. Before you know it, 30 million years have passed since the Tao era. This day, Yi Tian's eternal sequence to Tao rule has finally been raised to 100% perfect state, and eternal to Tao has been raised to 43% state. With his current strength, if he fights against the number 1 demon venerable again, he can be killed easily. Human domain. There are many legendary Tao realms born in the human race, and there are quite a few who have reached the peak of the legendary Tao realm, and 2 elders have been born, both of whom are the descendants of Yi Xingqian, so they should be taken care of. With the help of the domain, this is the breakthrough to the mythical driveway. However, it is just an ordinary mythical realm. Yi Tian's wife, daughter, and son have all reached the peak of the mythical Tao realm, and even the mythical body has been superimposed to 11, because Yi Tian found a better innate original treasure from the first demon, 11 mythical bodies can be superimposed. Now, they also use the resources given by Yi Tian to upgrade the 11 bodies to the 9th transformation. At present, they are also preparing to carry out eternalization. Yi Tian also didn't give them much resources, just let them cultivate 300 slowly, there is no need to rush, anyway, there is no external threat now. And after the Congenital Origin Alliance absorbed the resources of the void demons of the Supreme Tao, some veterans were born one after another, and their strength was much stronger than before. Certainly, without the threat of the Supreme Tao void demon, internal factions of the Congenital Origin Alliance appeared, and gradually began to compete internally. But no matter how much competition there is, no force will dare to provoke Renyu. Yi Tian is now the number 1 strongest in the Congenital Origin Alliance, and there are many clones, the human race also has several veterans, and 4 of the top 10 veterans, who dares to provoke. That is death. Even the first elder would not provoke Yi Tian now. Before you know it, another long time has passed. At this time, Yi Tian's eternity to Tao transformation has reached 69% of the realm, which is only one step away from 70% of eternity to Tao transformation, but the mythical spirits he obtained can't help him break through the realm. Regarding this situation, the first elder did not understand either. After all, neither he nor the first demon venerable had reached this level, so naturally they couldn't give an answer. It should be that these mythical spirits belong to ordinary mythical spirits, and my foundation is too strong. If I want to break through the bottleneck, these ordinary mythological spirits will not help me much, so I cannot break through the bottleneck. Yi Tian guessed.